All right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good day. I did that backwards. Good afternoon, good evening, and good day. Good morning to those of you in the West Coast. Apologies for being late. I had a low sugar event, and then the technology wanted to fight me once I actually got to the chair. But we're here. We made it. There's stuff in the notebook, and I missed the whole conversation. I do apologize for that. Let's see. We had Highlander and Brian came through, and they're talking about a picture. Lars, guy with the roadster. That's cool. Uh, 4680 battery. History. You can't ship them by air, so I can't deliver it. That's cool. Thank you, Brian. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. Oh, I missed it. 2 p.m. Sunday matinee of the play. Sweet. I will ask about that. I'm curious how it went. One-eyed EV pirate. It's also news of the movie. Pete was telling me it's called Getting a Tesla. Straight up to be filmed. Oh, that's pretty cool. And let's see. Young moderators get up to host the show. Double ice cream sundae. You'd be surprised the stuff they were asking for yesterday and this morning. Yes, it can. Yes, it does, Brian. Let's see. Time. Handle the clock. Okay. Oh, I need to check and see that this thing actually. Oh yeah, on top of, you might be able to hear it, on top of all of the delays this morning. Somebody brought a sick kid to the family festivities for the 4th of July, and they got me. What I'm doing now is pulling up the sampler to make sure that that the video feed is working correctly. Let's do that now. We'll do there, and then we will get to the notebook. Which, as I said, Highlander says the audio is good now. Excellent, and Brian says he's in the back room. Brian, hit refresh, please. I think it put you in a different room than the one that we're in. That, or I'm in the wrong one, but I think I'm in the right one. Because there's comments. There wouldn't be comments if I was in the wrong one. Yeah, hit refresh, and then it'll put you in here. Thank you. There he is.
Rock and roll. Sounds windy. Everything all right there?
It's windy here. I need to adjust my settings then. Greetings, and thank you for coming through and waiting on me. And
well, I had good company. I was accompanied by Highlander and
yeah,
and also One-Eyed Pirate.
And the One-Eyed Pirate, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I had a little scare this morning, and then the technology wanted to fight me.
Technology's good at that, though.
It is. But we do have some stuff in the notebook. Let me share the link. Actually, first let me pull something up, and then I'll share the link, and then...
Still sounds very windy, by the way.
It still sounds windy? What did I do to this thing? I might have to adjust something. Is it bad or just annoying?
It's not great. Hey,
Not great. Okay.
do you
Yeah.
know why when you get a virus, you get a temperature as well?
So you can cook it out.
No, it turns
No.
out the virus, you're mining Bitcoin.
I think what I'll do is I'll pull up the stunner and use it, and then we'll figure out what's going on with my. Because
Yeah.
if I open up the control panel, it says that the machine isn't there, except that here we are having a conversation through the machine.
No machine.
Um, so we're gonna use. Where's the button for the stunner?
Yeah, my call for the play at 12:45 Pacific.
Excellent.
Yeah. So we
So
have a
real
2
soon.
p.m. matinee, and yeah, hour. I've got probably an hour I can hang out. But the matinee, so far so good. Opening night we had 70 tickets out of 100,
Not
and
bad.
last night we had about 56 tickets, maybe 60 tickets, and today's looking pretty good too. About I don't know. I got to hear somewhere. 60-ish. Yeah. Viewers are encouraged to throw popcorn,
Oh.
and boy do they. We actually have popcorn that we made over the past month that's all very stale, that you are just given to throw at us. And boy do, and it's stale enough that backstage when a real villain's out there, it just sounds like hail. It
Oh,
sounds
wow.
like a real good rain on a tin roof. And our lead is sufficiently experienced with shows like this that he will stop and talk to you in the audience.
Oh, nice.
When he's like, I have lines to get through. It's very fun.
So I told it to use the stunner, but the stunner is still zip zapping around like crazy. Does it sound any different?
No, it sounds equally terrible.
Oh no! It says it's not selected in Microsoft Edge, but I very clearly picked it.
This is the magic of live production.
Right. What if I adjust the position of it? Does that change anything?
And by the way,
Yeah.
I do have the handlebar for the mustache for the play, so you can.
Yeah, I see.
I'm looking perfectly ridiculous.
So let's move this phone, and then I apologize for the audio, folks, but I am going to fix it after this. Let's do. I need the button for the show notes here. Yeah.
Is your it doesn't have noise cancellation.
Is echo? That's it.
Yeah.
Open
And by the way,
sample.
when you were echoing on Highlander's side, that might have been because he had 2 instances open.
Yeah, that happens that way.
It do.
All right, so let's see. The other thing I can probably do is try to. I need to hit share. And
Well, while you're
collaboration.
doing that, why don't I mention my
Yeah, do it.
upcoming trips? I've got a couple of very exciting ones. In just about a month, I'm going to Nepal for a few weeks, where I will be once again interviewing the people who are building the charging stations, building the hydro dams, getting all kinds of on-the-ground coverage. And this time, we'll also be having like a fan meetup because I have fans in Nepal now.
Nice.
And because of my Nepal coverage from last year, I should have greater access to the right people to get coverage this year. And I'm going to the International Auto Show, but I mean, it's compact. It's very efficient in terms of the space it consumes. And then in December, I have a big trip coming up. You're all welcome to fly out and join me should you choose to. Ethiopia.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is all squared away. I reached out into the universe and said, hey, anybody want to see this happen? Anybody got a cajillion sky miles they could burn?
Yeah.
And one of my viewers said, you know what? I can get you probably one way. Give me the airports and the dates and I'll see what I can do. And I said, check Portland, but also check SeaTac, Seattle. And he said, you're not going to believe this. it's the cheapest miles flight I've ever seen for a distance that great. I'll cover the whole thing.
Oh, nice.
So I've got my airfare covered. I've got a viewer who has business in Ethiopia who will be allowing me use of his assistant as my ground support, which is great because without ground support, I would not go. And I'm supposed to get filming permits. I don't think I will because it's hundreds of dollars. It doesn't grant you any special permissions, and then you also have to get a much more expensive visa type, the kind you have to apply for instead of just getting on arrival.
Right.
So I don't think I'll be doing that.
I got you. So there is a way to do it from the device, but they use icons, and I don't know what the icons mean. There's like a square, and
a square.
yeah, there's
Helpful.
a square. Oh, there's a cube. Sorry, it's a cube, and then there's like a firework burst, and then there's like a waveform, but I don't know what any of them are. So
What
I'm
I
actually.
like, yeah, what I like to do is when I text my children, I'll insert 3 random emojis, so it's like ice cream, Portugal, soccer ball. And they're like, that could mean anything.
It could mean anything. So I sent you a link to this week's notebook. So if you see anything in particular you want to talk about, call it out. I'm going to just kind of go from, I guess, the bottom.
Did you? Where did you send it?
I put it in the private chat for this.
There it is. The pirate chat. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 'cause I figured email's way over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first one I'm going to start out with is we were talking about Switzerland and Sweden. So let's go to this one here about Model Y has topped out Switzerland. Let's go ahead and hit share screen. It's coming from our friends over at Darren at Drive Tesla Canada. Well, Matt Wilson wrote it, but I think Darren's the one who shared it. Mm-hmm. Unless he's got an auto poster, which I don't believe he did last time we spoke. So got a beach ball. Yeah, an auto poster. Not like a robot or anything, but it's like, hey, we made a post on the site. Let's copy it over. Share. There we go.
It's fun, Casey. It's over for Tesla, especially in Europe. They'll never buy them again. Ignore Spain. Ignore all the Nordic countries. Heck,
all of them.
Now you have to ignore Germany and Switzerland. Consumers have a short memory. And the reality is when Tesla did their $5,000 price drop, what would that be, 3 years ago now? I saw a ton of the angry children on Reddit saying, I hate that guy so much, but at these prices, I don't know, man, I might just get one. Because at the end of the day, everyone has a price, and it turns out that price was $5,000.
Yeah, well, also the rising fuel costs. And then you can get the integrated experience versus hoping that legacy automaker of choice did it the right way.
I had a conversation with a gentleman this morning who said, I am paying $200 a week for gas. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, let me crack out my calculator. I can drive 10,000 miles in my Model 3 for $200. Mm-hmm. And he goes, yeah, but you have a car payment. I said, right, but you're paying $10,000. You're paying No, he's not paying a car payment. He's
in fuel.
Well, no, but he's not paying. Right. That's what I said is you're paying $10,000 a year to put gas in your car that you consider free.
Right.
And it was free.
$30,000 in 3 years. That's oof.
He has a towing company, and he went to the scene of an accident, and the kid said, I'm going to call my mom. She'll come here and pay for the tow. And so he's like, okay, hooks it up, getting ready to tow it. The mom shows up and says, you goof up. And that was not her words.
To the kid.
It. Yeah. No, well, you are not going to give him a check. You are going to go into your glove box and grab your title and sign it over to that man.
Wow.
So, and the car was good and banged up, but easily fixable. And he's like, yeah, it's great.
Oh, this is the guy he's driving now.
No, one he's driving now. I've got a free car. I'm like, yeah, but you're paying $10,000 a year in gas.
Yeah.
And he's only going 500 miles a week.
That's it? Oof.
Yeah, because it gets 22 miles to the gallon.
Mm.
Okay. So get a Model 3, get one secondhand, and
Yes.
within 2 or 3 years, it is free. You have paid it off.
Exactly. Yeah, and then if you happen to catch one during the market inversion, you might have one that you got paid to drive for 3 years. So this guy Ahuna E, he put stopped at Supercharge, and VW has these GTIs on display. 39,000 for this. I told the young couple, Model 3 starts at 36, and she said, "I'd rather buy the Tesla." So is this even an electric? It looks like it's a gas.
It does look like it. Well,
Yeah, it totally is.
they don't have those in electric yet, I don't think.
They used to.
Did they?
Maybe not that one, but like the previous generation. Yeah. It's on top of a parking garage, it looks like, too.
I don't know if that's the important part of the story.
No. We were talking about legacies, understanding EVs, and
Oh,
this is one that
that's
doesn't
funny
understand.
because if you go back to that next picture to the right,
Next one to the right. Okay.
so they were over there looking at stickers, and they're probably right next to them charging, and that's
Yeah.
how the conversation happened. Is, oh, you're looking at a car? Yeah, this one's only 39 grand. Wow, that's terrible. Yeah, but it's slow
And loud and
loud.
and burns fuel like the Dickens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Wow.
great.
Wow. Okay, so that was the only reason that one was in there. Just it's like wow. We got a little. It's not a recall, but we got a little PSA here. As soon as it switches tabs on me.
By the way, if anyone's out there wanting to say hello, I would love to hear some hellos.
Oh, I love
And-
hellos.
And some, my question is always, what is the weather where you are?
Ah, there's a looming thunder over here.
Yeah.
The skies have darkened.
Yeah. We did not get the heat dome. So our 4th of July was like 75.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Should have invited us.
So nice. I did.
Oh, I should have been paying attention.
I don't know if I reached out to you specifically on account of, geography, but
Right. Yeah, we ended up in North Carolina, and like I said, somebody brought a sick child, and whoops.
always great.
Always great. On top of the weather we had, we were in the heat dome. So this is from a Japanese poster, and it's been auto translated by Grok. Attention to Model Y L owners with small children. While it was partly my own carelessness, during the automatic stowaway of the second row armrest, my child got their finger cut. No injury, but they cried so hard we were almost late for kindergarten. Crying emoji. As an engineer who works on automotive safety myself, I had a vague concern about the hazards with the powered armrest, but I never thought my own kid would get caught in it.
Well, these vehicles are getting out in the market, so we can go test that ourselves and see. It never occurred to me to stick my fingers in it to test it. I have been in the Model Y L. I have tested them out the Model Y L. I have not driven it, but it is, yeah, I could see that happening depending on which angle you put your finger in from.
Yeah.
The cars are meant to be idiot resistant, but not
Resistant.
idiot proof.
Yeah.
You try to idiot proof something, they're just going to build better idiots.
But as soon as you tell them it's idiot proof, they're like, "Oh, really? Let's try this."
Yeah, let's stick a carrot in the front of a Cybertruck. Guys, put your carrot and close your hood. I'm just asking you to try something out here. I guarantee you it's going to end disastrously
Badly for the carrot.
Carrot. Yeah.
Yeah, this reminds me of the video I made because people were crushing stuff in the Falcon doors, and I had a carrot among other things, and I was able to demonstrate the safety features, but there were areas where there were blind spots. So the Model Y L is popular for family use, so I recommend turning off this function when seating children in the second row. There's this, but I also say that now that he's tweeted this, there's a chance that it will get to the engineers and they'll watch like the motor torque or something going down on these handles and make it even more sensitive than it might already be. We've seen that in the past, which I like.
With
Okay.
anything, oh yeah, there's an injury. With
Yeah,
anything that
injury.
closes, with anything that moves, you have to go back to Archimedes and understand lever.
Yes.
That does look, mm, yeah,
Yeah.
that
So
looked like it
it's
was
like
smart.
yeah, it's like you said. It was just the right angle. Um.
Well, I imagine the kid was reaching from the other side, so
Ooh.
the cushion might have changed the torque profile, softened the torque profile,
Yeah, and then the smaller
um,
fingers than
and then the smaller
from that side.
fingers.
Mm.
Yeah. So
But now that they have an edge case, they can adjust the sensitivity of said sensor.
sure. They've sold a whole bunch of these in China, but I don't know. I mean, there was that child that was killed in I think, what was it, a Hyundai, where the
Mm.
second or third row folded all the way flat with the
Oh
child in
no!
it.
Oh no!
And of course, I was talking about something like this, and somebody, oh yeah, Teslas fold down seats; they'll kill people. And I go, what? Can I get a citation? Yeah, here you go. I'm like, okay, so that's a Hyundai.
Hmm.
Uh, just and I saw someone test it with a case of water, like an opened case of water, so the bottles are kind of loose, and it
Yeah.
absolutely smooshed them.
Ooh.
So Hyundai,
On the Tesla
up
or the
your
Hyundai?
no Hyundai,
Okay.
up your game, Hyundai.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't have that happen again. Once is a terrible, terrible lesson. The second time, uh, you should have had all those cars through the service center or have
Mhm.
existed a over-the-air software update
Can
network.
I tell you what I'm excited about for the future of cybercab is
Yeah.
physical recalls. Because
Oh.
if the physical recall is issued, and let's say you own 3 and I own 1, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say we get to that point. You might get a notice saying, by the way, Tuesday at 3 a.m., your car will be in for service.
Oh, that's cool.
Why not?
Yeah.
Because it'll just, and you can use the existing service centers and just have an overnight crew, because you know which car's coming when. They cycle through. You're only doing one little repair. It's going to go super quick. It's back before you notice it was gone. And unlike any other physical recall in history, it will have a 100% compliance rate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's a question for you, Casey.
Go ahead.
You've heard of this little company called Waymo.
Yes, I have.
You've seen the sensor suite that goes on top. You've seen
Yeah.
the sensors that go on the sides and the compute that goes, I assume, in the trunk
Yeah. Or under the seats or something.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Do you think that upfit can cost less than an entire cybercab?
No.
Okay. So if
But not
so if
today. I've seen what they do to upfits just for like the toolkit for the Model S surface vehicle.
so
And it has
but
no sensors in it. It's a
well,
tray.
but what I mean is a cybercab is targeting 25,000, maybe it ends up being 30. Eventually the cost of goods, the manufacturing costs will probably be 15 to 17.
Hmm.
But if I gave you a free iPace on the condition that you use it as a robotaxi, it would still cost you more than if you bought a cybercab.
Yeah.
And the cybercab's going to last twice as long.
And burn less fuel. Look at this.
Yeah. Now tell me, why does
3
efficiency
times less
matter
fuel.
again? Yes. Well, by the way, that's just an iPace. That's not
Yeah.
the one with all the sensors.
Oh, you're right. The sensors are worse because they
Worse.
ruin the aerodynamics of this car.
Well, they ruin the aerodynamics, and that compute draws like a mother
Oh,
trucker.
yes. Yeah, because they're complaining about the what was Elon complaining about the 100 200 watts of the Power 3 board.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's not 100 200 watts even for just the 3 of the lidar pucks.
4th of July, Waymos died of thirst. They were towed because they ran dry. That's not something that should be happening in an
No.
electric vehicle stuck in traffic. It should consume so little on an hourly basis that it just doesn't matter.
Did they say, oh, we've got a 400-volt battery and we don't need to care about fuel efficiency, and then just threw the hat on top? Because
Yes. What they did is when they started designing, they said, assume that this isn't coming out for 10 years and that compute will be so much cheaper then it doesn't matter. Go for a heavy approach just so that it works. The early ones had a whole trunk full of compute. Well, they've gotten that down significantly, but it's still bad is
Yeah,
the word I think I'm looking for.
that's a good word for it. Oof.
It's the same philosophy with video game designers.
Yeah,
What do I care? Who cares if it's a 90 gigabyte game? Well, your customers, for
especially
one.
now. Like
Yeah,
a couple years ago, you said that, and people say, "Oh, let's just get a bigger drive."
but
Today,
even
you tell
even
somebody to
then,
get a bigger drive.
even then, people would. They're like, okay, well, I've got 4 games and I want to get Red Dead Redemption. What am
Mhm.
I deleting?
Yes,
Oh, come on. Can I have a disc?
right.
No, no,
Oh,
you may
Sony
not.
says no. You saw they're getting rid of the disc on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
And they've limited the purchase of the add-on disc module, and so you can only get one. And even after that, they said, "Oh, by the way, we're still sticking to this 2028 deadline. No more physical releases.
I saw a,
Enjoy spending the money on
yeah,
the disc."
I saw a fun quote. It
Yeah,
said, if purchasing isn't owning, then piracy isn't stealing.
Louis Rossman.
Oh, no, it was in meme form at that point,
Oh,
but
okay.
might have been.
I can't legally say anything on that, but yeah, I appreciate the sentiment and
Well, I
the
get it.
renting
I
crap. Yeah,
I get it. It's from a philosophical perspective, it makes sense. And by the way, Louis Rossman,
yeah,
man, what a machine. He
yes,
You might have to watch 2 or 3 to appreciate him, but once you get him,
yeah,
whoa, what a channel.
yeah,
And I appreciate his no nonsense approach to
yeah,
nonsense.
yeah, yeah. Speaking of, oh, nothing. What do you do on the car on top when if you don't pay your FSD subscription,
On which one?
the gold
Oh,
one?
what do you do with a cybercab if you stop paying FSD?
Yeah, or the payment doesn't go through and they get to the point where they cut you off.
So I don't know. When I talked to the engineers, when I interviewed them, what was that, December of 24?
Mhm.
I said, that 25 grand, does that include FSD? And his answer was, oh, probably. I don't really deal with that side of it. I just built the damn thing. So
There
he
you go.
didn't have an answer. But this is back when you could still purchase FSD.
Yeah,
So I don't know how that works because you can't. Can you force me to pay you $100 a month to use my car when
forever.
it's like, well, they could make money by just getting it from the network fee. It's like,
Yeah.
right, right. But what if I don't want to use their network? What if I want to
Mm.
use a separate booking service? What if I want to just send it to pick up my friends and neighbors and kids and stuff? Do I really have
Yeah.
to pay per mile? And I think the answer is you're not going to pay 99 a month. You're going to
No,
pay per mile.
probably so. And what if it's your mom and she's got like all her gear in there? She just wants to just leave it there forever. So you don't put it on the network because it's her personal
Well,
chauffeur.
I think that's so. What I hear you asking is if I only use my car 30 miles a month, but I need to, maybe I'm a plumber who has a 2 mile service radius, whatever it may be. What if it's only for my sick mother to just sit in front of her house for the once or twice a month she goes to church? Won't Tesla lose money? My answer to that is yes, but uh, those cases are rare. So it's just like unlimited supercharging. You're going to
Hmm.
get some people who use the heck out of it and a lot of people who don't. And
Hmm.
you just average it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're selling the car at a margin.
Yeah. Yeah.
The beauty is in 3 to 5 years, that car will be just as good, practically new, and someone
Yeah.
else will buy it and they'll use the heck out of it.
Yeah, true. So in that case, if you have run into times like that, you just sell the whole car and somebody else's problem. Yeah.
I've had people tell me that wind power will never work because turbines are only good for 10 years or 20 years, whatever number they say. And
Hmm.
I say, no, turbines do not expire due to time. They expire due to revolutions. When
Yeah.
that wind turbine is not spinning, it is not aging effectively.
Yeah.
So,
Just slightly on the
yeah,
fiberglass and the mast, but that's
but
nothing.
it's not going to be its end of life. So what you
Yeah.
do is you overbuild wind and solar and then curtail it. Uh, mechanically when it's
Yeah.
not needed, especially when you've got those large solar arrays that can track the sun.
Yeah.
If you're overproducing, do you know how you fix it? You
Stop them
point a
moving.
little bit
Yeah.
off. Yeah, just, "Oh, you want 10% less? I can give you 10% less." Same thing with solar panels. They
Yeah.
do not
And then you're not
expire
putting any
because
stress on your inverter because
no.
you've actually physically given it less light.
Yeah, and solar panels do not expire due to time, but photon exposure.
Yeah.
Expose fewer photons.
Exactly.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah. And that's people are saying, well, why does this gold one have the power of a V6? Well, if you don't run it flat out all the time.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You're not going to run it flat out. I'm getting fewer of the people saying, well, they'll just add a steering wheel. I do still get them,
Yeah.
but now I just point them to a video of mine explaining the 500 things you would have to change. And I
Mhm.
didn't count them. It's not 500, but it's everything. It is
Oh yeah.
every single thing is the only part. Just, you know, just
Yeah.
Casey, just put a steering wheel in it. Yeah, just slap wings on it and it's a plane.
Mirrors, adjustable seat, blah blah blah.
The
I
wiring harness. You need a
your
new
wiring harness?
wiring harness if you're
Yeah,
putting side mirrors on.
yeah. I can see them not having stopped the sister car when Elon told them to.
Mhm,
But that's what it's going to take. Is a whole another car.
mhm.
They're just so different.
Yeah, and the
Yeah,
development on that stopped 2 years ago. Ford is really trying to win the ugly award with the new EV Ranchero.
I kind of
Uh,
like it.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah. What do you know about
Cybertruck
this?
has a bias. Well, is that the one that's gonna be 30,000?
That's. It looks like the one that's supposed to be 30,000 to me.
Okay, because I've only seen it with camouflage. So
Same.
look, if you're gonna sell that truck for 30 grand,
Hmm.
you are gonna have a winner on your hands
Yeah,
because
because you got
it
this, the Talo, and the Slate.
yes, and the Slate and the Tello hopefully happen,
Yeah, hopefully.
but they do neither of them have the economy of scale Ford has. Neither of them has the distribution network, the service centers.
Yeah.
So if you buy, here's a problem Lucid is facing, is a lot of people who would buy it can't because they live too far from a service center and they're just not going to do it.
Yeah.
If you're 200 miles from a service center, forget it. How do you expand the network without the sales? And how do you get the sales without expanding the network?
Right.
Ford's got a network.
You could pull a Rivian and do mobile service like Tesla did, but
Yes,
then you learn like Tesla did that that's expensive.
it's expensive. And yeah, it's a different expense. And there's a whole lot of things, especially on a Lucid, you just can't do with a mobile service.
Oh
I
yeah.
interviewed. I heard someone talking to a Lucid employee, and I was standing next to him, and I guess he didn't know who I was because they
Hmm.
spoke candidly.
Oh.
He was explaining that. Casey, do you know what the service protocol is to replace a front fender camera on a Tesla?
Well, I know you're supposed to do a certain number of things, but I know what they actually do is they just stick a pry tool on it, unplug it, plug in the new one, and clip it in and
That,
roll.
that's
They
what they
might
do.
click something on the dash.
That's what they do. So it depends where you are, but if you put in a service ticket for that, they may just come to your work. You'll get a notification that someone is at your car working on it. And
Hmm.
10 minutes later, you get a notification saying it's done. Please
Yeah.
drive 10 miles to calibrate cameras.
Yep.
But for Lucid, at least at the time I spoke to him, the procedure is you tow it to the service center because
Oh.
all of the safety features aren't working anymore.
Hmm.
And they remove the fender and replace the camera.
The whole
Replace
fender.
and yeah.
Nice.
Got to get right up in there and get all the way, taken. Maybe it's not the whole fender, that because it's unibody, but they have to take apart everything on the inside to get to the fender
Yeah.
and then replace it and then put it on a grid to recalibrate it. It's an
Ooh.
8-hour service.
That's not good. So my driver pillar camera needed replacing, and they sent a guy. He came in. They didn't even just the camera. He had the whole
B-pillar.
the whole B pillar. It popped it off and unplugged it, and then he plugged in the new one, and popped it back on, and then he made sure it was working in the screen or with his laptop. I don't remember which, But the steps in the service manual, there were a lot more steps than that, and he didn't do like half of them, but it worked. It
Mhm.
worked, and it calibrated, and it was fine. And I'm sure if I looked at it today, that it probably would be just what he did. But back then, there were about 25 more steps, and but
I
even
had
then, that it wasn't take the car into the service center and tear it apart. Oh my goodness!
Yeah, I had someone ask me, in the future, do you think we will get the ability to upgrade? Hello in Arizona, to upgrade our batteries. Like if I buy a car that's got a 70 kilowatt hour pack today,
Mm,
in 10 years, will there just be replacements that are 100, 130? I
there
said,
should
nah.
be.
I said, there can be, but probably not. By then you're probably put enough miles on that the market doesn't have enough cars to justify it. It's
Hmm.
possible. He goes, well, can you replace it? I said, yes, there's a manual. Tesla's
Yeah,
published the manual. It's like a 70-step process. But you can do it. A service shop can do it in, 4 to 6 hours.
yeah.
And he said, now, because, catalytic converter theft, batteries have tons of valuable stuff. Are people stealing those? And I said, again, 4 to 6 hours for a professional. And then what are you going to do with a 1,000-pound bit of stolen equipment? What are you going to chuck it in your backpack? Lee Moon in the house.
Hey Lee, Lee's late for class
Ah,
today. Class was late today.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I give a pass when you show up and the teacher is in another state. In your
Right?
case, the state is low blood sugar.
That's right. Let's hit share on this. So this one, I didn't read this one either. You guys know I like to sometimes when I have the chance, I do read them and put them in and everything. But I'll leave them in and react to them along with you guys if that's the case. Like something today happened. So here, uh,
Yeah.
waiting for the an island in Chile covered its waters with floating solar panels. Soon, thousands of salmon had turned them into their home. So we were talking about how the aqueducts in California covering their aqueducts, viaducts in solar panels would help reduce evaporation. How
Yes.
about it being a natural fish habitat? That's pretty cool.
I see the complaint from dishonest whiners all the time that solar panels will destroy the habitats. Why are we chopping down forests to put up solar panels? And I said, who's doing that? That's not a thing. They
No.
put them over, but they put them over farmland then. Well,
Hmm.
yes, but it can improve the farmland. You can put it over a pasture, and the grazing animals love the shade. And guess
Yeah.
what? Sometimes the grass does too. So you got better grass, and the livestock loves it. Sheep appreciate it. Goats, don't do it with goats. They eat your wires and
Yes.
climb
Oof.
up on top with their sharp, pointy hooves.
Yes.
But and they said, well, and I go, but what about the desert, man? Well, there's no desert near cities.
So.
Strong disagree. Strong disagree. If you've ever been to the Southwest, the desert comes right up to the cities, and even Southern California, there is infinite desert, like 100 miles outside the city. And it doesn't destroy the desert habitat. It shifts the habitat. It alters it. It makes it, in many ways, a more vibrant and resilient place because it finally has some shade.
Nice.
I
So
know.
this one is actually really cool. Just skimming the article. So they eliminated the diesel noise and pollution.
Oh,
They eliminated the fuel consumption. They added shade for these animals in the pen. And then, of course, the wild salmon said, hey, that is really nice. Let us also rest over here. And so you got free fish that you didn't even plant
that's
on top of
nice.
the ones you are planting
Right.
and feeding.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Hmm.
And they also not just solar, but also hydro. So that was even cooler.
Huh?
Yeah. Like I don't know if it's a tidal or if it was like um, uh, just the wave motion, but either way, the hydro power on top of the solar panel.
Hmm.
That's pretty cool. This one, bad gateway. Well, they don't get a pass. Let me refresh one time. Oh, it's back. Okay. So this one I only picked it up because I had that solar fan break a couple weeks ago. How to keep your attic cool so your whole house stays more comfortable.
Hmm.
And in principle, I get it, but in practicality, there is a ROI, and so do mind how much money you're spending to keep your attic cool, to cool the rest of the house. There is a limit to how much, like keeping it cool. But like here, it's insulating it is a great idea. That does work year round. But
Super easy, and the
yeah,
people who do that kind of insulation can do the whole job in like 2-3 hours.
yeah,
They've got a big machine, they blow it in the play I'm in. We encourage the audience to throw popcorn, and popcorn they do throw.
yeah.
It is a little out of hand at times, but what I told the our pianist, our music director, said, I want to get some popcorn so I can throw it back at the crowd right at intermission. And I said, I'll do you one better, Dorothy. I'll take the leaf blower and I'll pre-stuff it with an entire bag for you. Just click it on.
Nice.
I think that idea has been vetoed, but I'd
Oh,
love to see it.
yeah. It's electric leaf blower, I assume.
Yeah. It's how we clean up the popcorn.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you just make it a little bit of a dual purpose wield. Nice. All right, so close this one, and we'll share this one instead. This one I didn't read, but the idea was intriguing to me. The FCC has approved the test of space mirrors to light the night sky despite an outcry. The outcry wasn't what I was about, but the idea that people say the sun doesn't shine at night. Have you heard of mirrors?
No, but and that's the weird thing is, because my people are not fully day walkers, not everyone in my family anyway. When we first got digital cameras, we were so excited, and then we got the DSLRs, which do have a mirror in them, and we just don't show up in those pictures, and it's very upsetting,
There's a vampire joke right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what are they using this for? I saw Saskatchewan. Improving opposition from astronomers. Oh, you thought the Starlink satellites were bad. How about giant flipping mirror?
How about one with I want to say albedo. Is that it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
With an albedo of, 96.
Yeah, as much as we can.
Let's just give it. Well, that's the purpose. Yeah. But why, though? Ever heard of death rays?
Right? Did they say why? I didn't see the why in here, just the complaints.
So we've seen cities that will put them up on mountain
power
top.
solar farms. Provide light for rescue workers. Oh, that's really cool right there. Provide light for rescue workers. Illuminate. That's like some dystopian movie stuff right there. Like the guys running in the dark, and then all of a sudden they light it up with real daylight.
And then Christoph says, "Cue sunrise."
Yeah.
And sunrise happens.
And then you don't have anything falling from the sky on the subject.
Well, it should burn up, but yeah.
Yeah.
60-foot mirror.
Yeah,
if you get that, if that gets hit by space debris, you know how many years of bad luck that is?
It's gonna be a lot. So we were talking about weird sensor suites, and how about some friend of the politicians got involved in that and gave them a shot.
I've had, of course, to deal with this on social media and in the YouTube comments where people are saying, see, this proves it. No, all this proves is that legislators are not technical engineers. And like, oh, no, but Tesla will definitely add this because they'll want to be in New Jersey. Now, I think this just means they'll skip New Jersey, which will make, I would say New Jersey a laughingstock, but I feel like they might already have a head start on that. But no disrespect to Bayonne, but I'm told it's not the best place. This just means that, and why? There is no technical reason to do that.
Right.
And Tesla's not going to introduce sensor confusion. Yeah, but LiDAR's better. Is it? Because we can see the behavior of the LiDAR-based systems, and they're not better.
Right.
So if
they were, that'd be different.
If the outcome is equal or worse, why would you mandate it other than to satisfy some loud idiot at a city hall meeting?
Yeah. I mean, and worse is Tesla has the data on this one that they could just shut this down immediately as long as, the right people are listening. They did try various sensor fusions. They had ultrasonic, they had radar, they had a different type of radar, and then they had the cameras. And every time you had more than one system in there, the system would get confused which one is best.
I love this. This is not anti-Tesla. I'm pro New Jersey safety. No, you're not.
Right.
No, you're not. You're not. If you were, you would have you read even one study? Even
Right.
one? Because the answer is no.
Exactly. Because if this were not viable, it would it wouldn't it would or it wouldn't. Right now, you've got other folks are moving to this approach, not just Tesla. So if Tesla was wrong, uh, you wouldn't have. I wouldn't say copycats. You wouldn't have other people saying, "Oh, let's do that as well." You've got China. You've got other industries entirely, and it's
Yeah, lidar is no silver bullet. We
no.
saw, I couldn't understand why Rivian would not invite me to their autonomy day. No, not very many people in the U.S. have experienced more autonomous systems than me, because I've done it in China in addition to the U.S. and I've seen them all. And I'd reached out to them, and then the day before, they're like, "Oh, can you live stream it?" I'm like, "You know what? I'll do you one better. I'm in town." "Oh, we're all out of tickets."
Oh,
And then I messaged him and said, "Look, so I missed the event. I'd love to come and experience it this weekend." "Oh no, we're not doing any more rides." Guys, the community's really small. I know you're still doing rides.
yeah.
But the reason I wasn't invited, I knew crystal clear because I watched the live stream, and they said, "And it's going to have LiDAR," and the roof goes nuts. And I was like, that's why I'm not invited.
Yep.
Because I would not cheer for that.
No.
And they showed, "Oh, here's what vision sees in fog, and here's what LiDAR sees. Look at how much better you can see." And I thought, fog is one of those things that LiDAR famously doesn't perform well in. It cannot penetrate the water droplets suspended in the air. Now look at what Tesla can see through the rain in a vision-only system.
Yeah.
It's remarkable. Look at what they can see with the sun blinding. It can see through it because it knows how to filter the noise and reassemble the remaining data. Yeah, Rivian loves to give me a chance to see things when they are refined and in great shape. They gave me a R1S to drive for a week. It was great.
Nice.
And then the R2 came out. I'm like, "Can I see it?" They're like, "No." I go, "Well, can you at least tell me which locations are going to have it on Tuesday or whatever the day was?" "Oh, we don't know." What?
They know. They want you to legwork it because they don't want to help it.
Yeah, because they're afraid I'd be critical. Now, the problem is I actually love the R2, but they have no way of knowing that. But my conclusion was, don't buy a early R2. You're going to have problems. Are there benefits? I don't know, and they don't want me to know. That concerns me.
Yeah.
I wish Rivian the best, but my gosh, that cash burn must get under control.
Oh yes. Speaking of popcorn, somebody back there is making some. So I saw this theory that they're not going to use the lidar on the Rivian themselves. Not for the compute, but what they are going to do is, instead of hiring the mapping crews that the other legacies are using, they are going to use you to do their street side lidar mapping.
Hey, that's fine. And by the way, the early R2 shipping do not have the necessary hardware to run the eventual self-driving software. And
that's the part that should concern you.
That's the part that should.
Not the lidar. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, my other problem is they're going to be selling their autonomous suite for $2,500. The cost for their autonomous suite is easily $2,500, which means in order to break even, they need a 100% take rate, which is not possible.
It's probably 4,500 today before the AI markups of all the components being out of whack.
You know what? Normally I would disagree, but I think you're right based on the chip shortage and the memory shortage, that it could easily have escalated. It shouldn't be more than 2,500, but this just means the cash burn accelerates. So I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I do know. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
right. So I can't advocate this, but this is how Belgian Tesla drivers deal with ICE vehicles parked at a supercharger.
What if they put
Like I
on
always
there?
say, don't touch other people's stuff.
Is that trash?
That is literal trash.
Oh, yeah. I
That's
don't
what I'm saying.
advocate it, but I get it.
Yeah.
Mm, mm.
Where was? Oh, we talked about cows and Starlink the other day, a couple weeks ago. And how about your Fluffy, your Fido, your own puppy can have a Starlink collar and help you retrieve them?
No, really?
Yeah, yeah.
So
It's
like an
only
air tag, but everywhere all the time.
everywhere, everywhere. As long as they go outside at some point. $199 for the hardware and $189 a year for the connection, which is still cheaper than regular Starlink. But wow, you basically get the color for free.
Yeah.
And the $299 flat fee for existing members. Interesting.
Well, and I'd say that it's not for everyone.
No.
I'm not getting it because I don't need it. My dogs don't
Don't do this.
don't have access to the wide world.
Yeah.
They're very much captive.
LTE, Bluetooth, and of course Starlink. That's cool. I could see this cost making sense. It's like, if this is like your only family left, or if you've got a prize winning show dog and your insurance company says you need this.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's yeah. Or if you just really, really love your dog and can afford it.
Yeah. I mean, if you can't spare the extra scratch, that I can't advocate that. But if it's a discretionary expense, that's not on you. Do what you want.
Right? We're
Yeah.
not robbing poor people. We're offering a luxury product to luxury. Lee, that's a very good point. LiDAR can't see through the car in front of me's windows.
Yeah. Whereas camera can.
Yeah.
And a camera can look at the mirrors. The LiDAR would see the mirror itself. It wouldn't see what's in the mirror.
Well,
Like a convex mirror on the side of a
yeah.
blind corner.
Well, a friend of mine was a scientist, and when he was on a space mission to save the world, his buddy that he met couldn't see his clock face. So, do you know what I'm talking about?
No?
It's a Project Hail Mary joke.
Oh.
Never mind. It's a great movie. I recommend it highly.
All right, I'll take a look. If you send that to me, I like watching movies. So this video that we're seeing here is apparently a Model Y L that's been pressed into lost luggage shuttle duty.
I am absolutely surprised by how many they got in there.
Yes.
But we took a Model Y from Austin to Starbase. It was me and 3 other dudes. I was the smallest of the 4 dudes, and I'm not terribly small.
No.
We had all of our luggage and all of the camera gear, and the camera gear was easily 2 of those big bags. And we filled the car, the frunk, the sub trunk, the trunk. We did not have any of our stuff in our personal space, in our occupant home, and it fit, and it was amazing.
Nice. Yeah, the only objection I have to Model Y and Model Y L is the people saying that it's a replacement for Model X. It is a different customer target entirely.
You would have to make a YL Plus that has like really cushy appointments and massaging seats and I don't know. It's got a lot of stuff, but it's not an X. It is not a, the X I would put up against the BMW, nicer BMWs, the nicer Mercedes, and the Y I would put up against the most premium, Toyotas.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe even a Lexus.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Lexus is really comfortable.
Well, the small Lexus maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
The entry level one. So the first entry I found on this current model here was from our friend the other Omar, and he was joking. Thank you. That he was joking that it charges via USB-C, and I was like, "Oh, that's really interesting." And then I realized immediately, as soon as I saw the power draw here, that he was joking.
Yeah.
Because USB-C currently 240 watts tops.
Yeah.
which would still be fine for something like this with a 2 kilowatt hour battery. But you couldn't achieve these results. 4 hours to recharge.
Well, no, peak charging is 2.3 kilowatts. Not, it doesn't have a 2 kilowatt hour pack.
The competitors have like a 2 to 4 kilowatt hour battery pack. So I was just assuming that
So
this
do you know
would be
why
similar.
the doors open like that?
Yes, because you can use the same door mold and hardware.
And so I had a chance to review one of these in the UK maybe 3 years ago. And you hop in it and you're like, you know what? I don't hate it.
Right.
Now, I will say it's nowhere near the quality and comfort of a Wuling Mini.
Right.
Because those are, as small as they are, they're real cars.
Right.
And this
Meant
is
to be real.
And and do you know why this has a top speed of 25?
Because you can get a driver's license for it at 14 years in France.
Well, but why is it limited to 25 in the U.S.?
Oh, in the U.S. because it is not certified for road use, not even NEV use. Otherwise, it'd be 35.
Well, no, NEV federally, the neighborhood electric vehicles are limited to 25.
Oh, it's 25. I thought it was 35.
Everybody,
I'm sorry.
No, everybody uncorks them to 35. That's why you're thinking of it.
Gotcha.
And at 25, I'd feel reasonably safe in this. We had a Zen Electric, which had been, of course, upgraded to 35 miles an hour. And I'll tell you, at 35, you were not hungry for more speed.
Right. I see why he might not have been joking. They might have interpreted the USB-C charge port to mean they charged via USB-C. No, it charges your phone via USB-C. Because it's a 5 kilowatt hour battery, and that would take more than all night.
And that would be hilarious. But my phone, and this is weird because it's a pretty nice Google Pixel, it doesn't take knacks. But if it did, it'd charge pretty quick.
Yes, indeed. As fast as it could handle, assuming that it could reject the rest of the electricity. So this is pretty cool.
The car is very symmetrical all the way around, front to back, all the panels, and it really cuts down on the cost.
Yeah. So the one I always think of is the Renault Ami. Is that Renault,
right? Where the back literally is the front, but with different colored lights.
Yeah.
Those are fun.
So it's nice to see this as a category, and you can get it with any brand you want, basically.
Yeah.
This would be good for like a little runabout, or any place where the kids are getting in trouble for having electric motorcycles that people don't realize are motorcycles. There was Grok 5 came out. 4.5 came out. If you wanted to talk about that.
Sure. I've had increasingly good luck with Grok. I don't know if I told you this, but my son and I accidentally broke it in record time in the car recently. We decided to do trivia. If you've ever done trivia with Grok, do it again and you'll find it's the same questions. So what we decided to do was give it the most categorically incorrect answers possible. And when you give it that answer, it has to fact check it and think about it to determine if it's somehow also technically right.
Oh, I got you.
And it took us maybe 6 or 7 minutes to absolutely shatter Grok. It goes, how many mineral diamond? That's right. No. And then it would ask another question. You're like, whoa, you okay there?
The reason I'm ducking the microphone is because it's already showing fan noise. I didn't want you to hear me chewing popcorn too.
Don't worry, we did.
I'm sorry.
I don't care. The fun thing is, I once said, let's do trivia, and it said, sure thing. What's the speed of light? Whatever. And then she said, now you ask me one. I'm like, what? No. That's not how this works. You have the sum of human information at your fingertips.
Right.
What? Very silly.
Yeah, it's very silly. So this one is something that I learned about 20 years ago when I was looking at doing an EV pickup truck conversion while I was working at the Toyota store. It's like it's more than 20 years now. Oof, I'm getting old.
The other day, in the 90s.
Yeah, exactly. The other day in the 90s. I think it was the early 2000s.
real quick, Lee, what I did the other day was I told it to add the supermarket to our current navigation. And then because the gang didn't know about it, I said, hey, I want to practice my Spanish.
Oh,
And it said, great. Here's how you say, please navigate me or please take me to Winco. And all the questions were based on things that we had just talked about. All the
nice.
conversations were contextualized. It's like, what a great starting point. Don't start me with, where's the library?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, F-150 Lightning towing the same trip. Truck topper equals more efficiency, fewer stops, and lower cost. So what I determined yesterday in the 90s was that you want your topper to be camback. You want to basically take an old canoe or flat bottom fishing boat and cut it in half, and then you have a nice angled from the top to the tip of the tail. The trucks are efficient as far as they can be for that shape,
Yep.
and you do want to keep your tailgate up if you don't have a topper on. But if you can put a topper on it, look at the difference.
Yeah.
And
Not
this is
creating
towing.
a big vortex. I mean, that's a lot of vortex space, and a vortex is drag.
Yeah. Oh, and Muskegon is in there. You see that?
Which makes me wonder, like, do we know you?
I think we know this person. 2026 with topper was a 1.01 miles a kilowatt hour, which is up a 13% better efficiency with no extra stops on the way home. Interesting.
Now, what I would say is I'm going to do this same study and prove that no topper is better. I'm going to run with topper from LA to Vegas and no topper back downhill.
And then
Wow, you skipped 2 stops.
people would eviscerate your test.
Yeah, that would be a real whistling diesel kind of test.
Yeah. Good evening, Anders. It's good to see you.
Hey.
Yeah.
So-
Okay, so that was that one.
I will be ducking out now because I've got about a half
You
hour
gotta
to get
work to
to
do.
the theater.
Yeah.
So I shall break legs, not my own this time. I'm
Not
going
your
to
own
break
this time.
someone else's. It's just the kind of mood I'm in.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, my friend. Appreciate
you.
everyone
Thank you.
in the chat, Highlander, Lee, and Anders, and anyone else I may have missed. Of course, One-Eyed Pirate, but that feels repetitive. And I'll catch you guys later.
Yeah. So, Highlander's asking if I would talk about the homemade RV trailer. It is on hiatus, and I've repurposed the project to do something with more impact on humanity. It started with that battery in the garage there, but I'll tell you guys more about it soon. In fact, that was one of the things I was doing last night, was working on the software for the suite for the HV Nomads project. But here we see DJ says, "Wow, thanks Dominion Energy. We've effectively substantially raised the rates for EV owners through this surprise fee, who are some of the most energy efficient customers you have. We have no recourse or ability to choose another provider. I'm sure your merger with NextEra Energy has nothing to do with it." And then the eyeglass emoji. Not eyeglass, what do you call the monocle emoji? Looking forward to legal action here from AGJ Jones. So, I don't think that you're going to get any action from AGJ Jones unless you can prove something that missed the various utility commissions, because the state that this house is in just had a Dominion rate increase. And let's go through the comments real quick. Well, first let's go through their lies. Their marketing department is so... their marketing department is very good with doublespeak. When the solar tariff expired, they came back with something to the effect of... how did they put it? They're like, "Oh, we are required by law to raise your rates," or something to that effect. It was actually, we are no longer bound by law to honor this other rate that we could, but choose not to. But their marketing department is another level. So anyway, looking forward to legal action. He says, "Dear valued customer, adjustments to your monthly energy bill can make a difference, and we want to make sure that you are aware of what's changing with your bill and what you can do. You can do nothing. Effective July 1st, the fuel portion of your Dominion Energy Virginia bill has increased. The fuel surcharge, our July 1st change for them was the electric billing. So anyway, the fuel charge is the cost to produce electricity and buy power from other energy providers. For a typical home using 1,000 kilowatt hours, 1 megawatt hour, it's gone up a little bit, isn't it? They used to use a smaller number, but this is actually realistic. This means about $8 more per month on average. Keep in mind, your energy use may increase during the peak of summer and winter, which can lead to higher costs per month. Your cost may also vary from the typical bill based on the size of your home and energy efficiency. This change reflects increases in fuel prices and the cost of purchasing power from other providers over the past year. These costs are passed along without markup, yeah, right. So customers only pay what it costs to provide reliable service. On X, I see the video, but not the live chat room. That's interesting. I wonder if that's a platform requirement. So some of the platforms like Twitch don't want you to have any of the other services showing up. So I'm wondering if that's what this is. In 2 years, this is FSD intensity, my electric has gone up 2 cents per kilowatt hour. My gas has gone up 10%. My property taxes have gone up 24 a year, and they added $200 plus EV credit. That's not a credit, it's a $200 EV charge, you mean. Living is getting expensive no matter how hard we try. Jim says, I'm a little happier I installed 12 kilowatts of solar every day. DJ says, one day. And Casey Green says, don't forget dispatchable batteries. Mine has kept some of the mess in check. And this person blames the politician or CEO. The average U.S. utility costs have risen 14% in the past 24 months. Methane is up 36%. Electric demand, thanks to AI, has shot up significantly. We EV owners have smugly laughed at the rising gasoline prices while electricity prices silently rose. Speak for yourself. I knew they were trying this crap, but as I will continue to say, they can't they can't surprise you the way they can with the gas prices. With this, you can trend it, you can see it's going up, and they have to publish all these notices and get them approved by utility commissions. So there is less chance of waking up and surprised than there is with the combustion fuels. I have Dominion and CEVC. Both have raised their rates, and I'm up about 16 cents per kilowatt hour. Oh my goodness. I think mine is up to 15 cents per kilowatt hour base charge now. It was 12. And during on-peak, it was something like 50 cents per kilowatt hour. More than that, actually, but 50 to 59. We're paying for the lines they were putting in for the data centers. They were opposed to the Joshua Falls to Yeats on the back of my property, but we made such a fuss that they were putting it over a couple properties, thankfully. But we don't want it here. Islander says, did you mean on your end? Yeah, I see them all, but like on Twitch especially, like this service honors the Twitch requirement that only Twitch people messages show up on Twitch. So let's see. I hear Montana's nice this time of year. So DJ will consider it when he moves, but I'm saying just do it now and don't overpay, and then hopefully your buyer appreciates the independence or the stability. There's absolutely nothing to do with it because there's been no merger yet. You should consider blaming the Virginia Clean Energy Act. Sure. In New York, we can buy our electricity independently through solar farm and only pay the electric company's hardware and the delivery fees. That's nice. We've got 15 kilowatts in panels, 4 Tesla Powerwalls. Last month, our bill was $3 or negative $3. Not sure which there. Either way, it was de minimis. Nobody could have seen this coming. Though the cost was not a driver for the decision. It was reliability. So dig out Dominion on another side. They couldn't keep the lights on. Makes me think that off-grid is the way. My recent bill is more than $100. It was $100 more than a year ago. Good gracious. PSEG in New Jersey just raised their rates again, up 25% in 2 years. Insanity. Dylan just says great. Have you seen YouTube's chat on X before? That's a good question, Anders. I personally haven't. Like when YouTube cares to share with me that my buddy Brian is on, and I join the stream. Oh, sorry, X. Sorry, when X chooses to show me, I join the stream and the YouTube comments. I see them on the screen here, but I don't see them in the chat, and then vice versa. I think I drove 1722 miles from April 12th to today using $59, all home charging only. Good job, Lee. All right, let's see. I put a lot of stuff. Hit the notebook. Let's see what is left. We covered a bunch of it with our friend Brian there, and we talked about New Jersey. We talked about Grok. We talked about pet tracking and truck toppers and people raising your rates and the Topolino. And, oh, this would have been a fun one because Brian is really good at picking this stuff apart. But here we have. As I wait for the thing to adjust, and there we go. And then load. Excuse me. Chinese automaker Geely have released their certified results for their upcoming gold brick battery. 95 kilowatt hours of LFP, lithium iron phosphate that is, 900 volt architecture, 1.1 megawatt peak charging. Oh, right, so they can max out the NAX port. Look at that. Sorry. 10% to 70 in 4 minutes and 22 seconds. That's impressively excessive. Wow. It's almost a full charge for me because I don't let it get that low, and I only go to 75% right now. Unless there's a reason to go higher just because the network is so full. Or flushed out, I should say, not full. And 10 to 97% in 8 minutes and 42 seconds, which I would never do because I would just keep it at 90. That is incredible. Well, although I say that, I use EV cells in my battery, my garage battery. I might go to full because I do that. I take that thing to full every day because I had a 100% depth of discharge at 5,000 cycles. We're looking at what, 10 years before it's at 80%. By then, I'll want new technology, so why baby it? Oh, now I'm curious. Let's do the math on it. And let's call it just 3,000 cycles because let's say they were being optimistic. Divided by 365-ish. That's 8 years. 8.2 years without considering that there should be 2 leap years in there. So, yeah. That's just on, like I said, existing old LFP tech. Sustained 500 kilowatts past 80%. Wow. That's impressive because my car tapers like a mamma jamma when it gets over 45, 50%, 60, 70% is like, yeah, you better have needed this extra charge. I know mine's old, but still. Peak temp only 142 degrees Fred or 64 C, which is under China's 149 degrees or 65 C regulatory limit. Barely. Question then is the peak temp, is that in the lab or is the peak temp out there in the summertime? Because if it's that, this remains impressive. It's a 900 volt architecture. That's all right. I like that. That's wow. I mean, some thin cables. Dual-sided 3D liquid cooling system. Okay. The battery is in the Link & Co. 10 Plus sedan owned by Geely, which starts at around $35,000 US. And here we can see they've got the, it looks like they've got the, it's not just like stress stamping, that's like got the cooling channels showing on some of it too. All right. Don't mind my pontification. You've got the cells here. You've got the penthouse here. Look at that. At the supercharger. Click. All right. Wow. That's impressively fast. Oh my goodness. You already can't get out of the way of a 400 volt architecture car charging up when you have to unload a family of 4 and get everybody to the restroom and order food. I can only imagine that here, this thing is full before you reach the edge of the parking lot. That is incredible. The challenge is the infrastructure to feed the massive amount of energy into those batteries at charging stations. At this point, it can't be cost-effectively done with any kind of wide scale. Have you heard of megapacks and competitors, my friend K. Martin? Which legacy automakers would take EV seriously? Says Futurama King. Unlimited power. They use battery packs to help manage the peak loads. Yes. Yes, but these charging rates, these battery packs get large and expensive, which could add to the charging costs. You could add more batteries and charge them slowly overnight. That's true. Maybe they'll end up charging more based on the charge rate. Maybe. Except this has already been done by BYD in China. This is Geely. Probably using BYD packs. Are we not? They're leaders in the area of ultra-fast charging, but I have my doubts it's widely deployed across the country. Certainly, getting connections here for that much power at multiple stalls would be an issue. It may be a solution for a non-existent problem, though. At this point, 300 kilowatt chargers work out pretty well in practice. Yeah, they do, but I like the idea of having 500, half a megawatt and megawatt chargers everywhere. Why not? You may not use them at full speed all the time, but having a few of them out there would be helpful. Certainly getting the connection here. I don't see the point unless you're constantly driving cross-country trips. Current speeds are fine. I'd much rather see level 2 charges everywhere. I do see the point. Look about commercial, or if you're towing, or any other high draw situation. There's also the ability then that they could use, well, I was going to say they could use smaller packs, but you actually want bigger packs the faster you can charge because it puts less stress on the battery. I 100% agree, but at a point in technology where you're not really spending that much more to get these levels of performance. I think a lot of people also forget that the battery is going to exist for a decade. And a decade from now, this type of charging is going to be fairly common. I also think it's going to be a big market for chargers that can do 250 to 500 kilowatts, but can do it consistently, that part. Because a lot of stuff out there now can get peaky, but it can't hold it. We need Toshiba to restart development of their almost shipping container-sized mini nuclear reactors. My guess is the risk of terrorists getting their hands on them and derailing the project. I don't really think so, because otherwise Mitsubishi would not have been in it. This is why we can't have nice, glowing, shiny things to faster charge our electrodes. Solar and batteries. Daily local driving amounts to 90 to 95% of driving. It's not a big deal. Tesla superchargers scaling very easily accommodate not just Tesla, but other manufacturers too. Not a big issue. Tesla would love to scale too. That's literally the thing. Scaling. Yeah, that part right there, Lee. That turnaround time would relieve stall congestion. You could get away with less stalls to service the same people, or just any number of ways to optimize with something like this. Let's get this thing back on top of the camera instead of way off to the wall. There we go. Keeping my mousing hand on the mouse. That's why it looked awkward. Plenty of places with 350 kilowatt. Agree that 500 kilowatt is silly because I need to pee and maybe have a cup of coffee after driving for 3 hours. 10 minutes is fine. It's not for you then, but that's fine. then it doesn't charge at 1.1 kilowatts, but megawatts, but also, but 250, 500 instead, and holds throughout the charge curve. That part right there, yes. So you don't have to charge at max all the time. Just like we talked about, the Cybercab doesn't have to be floored everywhere. It can go somewhere in the middle and hold it and do it nicely. The charge curve, or so they say charge line, and it reaches 80% in just 10 to 15 minutes. That's much better than the 33 minutes my Model Y needs. Your Model Y needs 33 minutes. Mine would then at that same stop probably take 35 to 42 minutes for that same stop. Unless you got the LFP Model Y, but I think he would say that. Or the 4680 Model Y, I think is also got a similar situation. Even getting sustained 300 kilowatts would be great instead of watching the charging curve drop off a cliff after a few minutes. Agreed. In China, due to the massive industrial electric consumption in its own right, the growing electrical demand from these civilian vehicles has not been placed a significant burden on the core infrastructure. Yeah, when you got all these factories going up, what's a couple cars every now and then, right? The difficulty lies in the last mile, that is from the medium voltage substation all the way to the high power stations and centralized charging facilities. At present, this doesn't seem to be too big of an issue either. The country's own investments in construction, along with policy guidance, directing private capital towards such investments, are being vigorously implemented. As things stand, the adoption rate is advancing much faster than one might imagine. At the very least, in China, typical urban areas, you can find these ultra-high power charging facilities operating at 800 volts or above, such as those exceeding 300 kilowatts. And such speeds are already more than sufficient to meet the charging needs of vehicles with less than 100 kilowatt hours of capacity. As for even higher charging rates, they can only be sustained for a very short time during the entire charging process, making them feel more like technical evolution and marketing gimmick than genuine application scenario. Yeah, but if it can peak to 1.1 and it can hold 400 and 500 just fine, then it makes our 300 and 350s look like toys. It also makes our 500s that are also not full 500s do the same. The real application scenario lies in sustaining high power charging for capability above 300 kilowatts as long as possible. This does both of those things. Here's the deal. The faster you charge, the less gets charged at the same time. What's that? What? If one car arrives every minute, the charging process takes 10 minutes, then 10 cars are charging simultaneously. If you increase the charging power tenfold, then the cars stress 10 times as much, but now only one car charges at a time. No. No. It would be the other way around. It would be better, as Lee was saying, it would increase throughput if they designed it correctly. At least that's exactly. A better charge curve if not using full power. That's right. They could use a regular gas analog. Select which speed you want, increasing the price tiers the faster you charge. Oh, that would be great. Because then you don't have somebody who can't use the charge at that particular stall if that stall doesn't offer the rate that they want to pay for. Clever. Okay. So that's Geely's battery. And as we know, only Geely left in North America, well, not North America, in the States, is Volvo, because their Swedish counterpart at Polestar got kicked out, unfortunately. I'm sure they'll be back if the political winds shift, or if they bend the knee and make a donation. Let's see. We talked about politics in New Jersey, trying to adjust to robotaxis. We talked about the Belgian drivers and the Ford truck. Cybercab efficiency. How much the Model Y L can hold. We talked about not sticking your fingers in the Model Y armrest. And we talked about how random people would prefer a Tesla to a gas Volkswagen. So let's do this. We did Inside EVs last week. Let's do... No, that one's closed. Let's do... Who do we want to do this week? I'm going to do Inside EVs again, because that's just the first one that popped in my head. And, we could do Drive Tesla Canada, but we'll see what comes up and if we want to do another one after that. I saw Scout's new trucks up close. They could be worth the wait. Can you extend an EV's range with portable battery banks? This guy's trying it. I still don't understand the connection he's using. I get what he's doing, and I'd like to know more because I don't want to use those battery packs to do it. But his numbers looked real. It had a little bit too much fiddling about it, but it would be something I would do if I had a Ford Lightning. U.S. EV sales rebounded their highest level since the tax credit ended, and this is what we have been saying over and over and over again: is that anytime you end a credit, it compresses the demand to before it brings it all forward, pulls it up before the end of the credit, and then in the meanwhile, you have a whole bunch of people who made their purchase early who aren't buying the cars on the regular cadence, so it's going to look really bad until there's either a fuel crisis or all of those people have already been accounted for, and you're now back at the next regular cycle, and all of a sudden the numbers appear to just poof, skyrocket back up. But really what it is it's return to normalcy. Or in the case of an external factor like a fuel crisis, then it goes beyond normal as the recovery. Toyota's EV sales have more than doubled in the year. See, same thing. Oh, it's so cute. This Chinese micro EV makes the Fiat Topolino look bare bones. It does. It's got doors, windshield wipers. I assume the doors are different doors on each side, so they look the same on each side. What it's like to live with a mostly free Fiat 500e for 2 years. These YouTubers found out. Oh, I wonder if this is like the Nissan Leaf, Nissan Leaf lease that we had a couple years ago with our friend Kyle and Spotted Model all over X. Kyle Connor of Out of Spec, and then Spotted Model on X. The Sky Nomad 90 is Xiaomi's gas-burning adventure rig, so that means it has nothing to do with anything I want to talk about. The Rivian R2 is getting launch mode. It'll be quicker than a Tesla Model Y performance. Oh. Gauntlet Throne. The VW Group is gutting its lineup. Half its models could die. Public trust is earned. Feds are officially tired of robotaxis getting in the way of first responders. Robotaxis or Waymos? Let's see if they differentiate. Americans just aren't buying Audi EVs. I have seen so few of them over the years compared to all other EVs. This EV supercar packs 1582 horsepower and 1.5 megawatt charging. BYD's Denza Z can hit 62 miles per hour in under 2 seconds and can charge from 10% to 97% in 9 minutes. Wow. Buying a Ford EV still comes with a free home charger. That's cool. Ford extended its Power Promise program yet again, nearly 2 years after its introduction. This Hyundai Ioniq 5 lease deal is cheaper than a nice night out. A really nice night out. Less than $200 per month. We'll take a look at it. The best EV lease and finance deal on 26th of July. I'm going to skip it this week. The feds are looking to remove a major roadblock for driverless robotaxis, the steering wheel. So we had the brake pedal last week, and this week we have the steering wheel. Okay. Chinese EV SUV sold 100,000 units in 7 months for good reason. Xiaomi's Tesla killer. New Jersey law, we talked about that one. Mercedes EV sales jumped 50% in Q2, thanks mostly to Europe. Again, same thing. You pull things forward, or you make a fuel crisis, and then all of a sudden, EV sales come roaring back. Degradation diaries. Everyone is afraid of EV battery degradation. It's all the Nissan Leaf's fault. Can't say I disagree with that. Don't get too rowdy in a Waymo, kids, or this could happen to you. So, if this is the one I think it is, there were some children harassing people from inside of a Waymo. And the Waymo said, oh, hold on, we've got to get you some service. And then directed them straight to the police officers. Okay, California teens thought they were taking a robotaxi home. Waymo quietly called the cops. Yeah, I think it's the same one. Toyota delays the 2027 Highlander EV as demand for gas model remains robust. As if we expected Toyota to do anything good for EVs if given the choice to not do anything good for EVs. The Cadillac Optic is getting a China-developed EV platform update. This version won't be available in the US, but it shows how global car companies are increasingly leaning on Chinese tech. New Mercedes-Benz CLA i3 just aced Euro's NCAP with the newer stricter safety tests. You guys know I like to see these Euro NCAP tests with the sausage simulator, and then the watermelon head test. Ford's 30,000 electric pickup size explained. I think we talked about that previously. Not necessarily from here, but we did talk about it. You think your electric lawnmower is eco-friendly? Volkswagen just replaced its lawnmowers with sheep. Yes, this is actually a good thing. But as Brian said, don't pick goats if your wiring is accessible. Make sure all that stuff's in armored conduits. And then buried in the ground. Let's see. 100 sheep. Not bad. BYD's BF pickup just landed in the UK, but Americans still can't have it. Yeah, because it's BYD. This new cattle battery for delivery vans can recharge in 7 minutes. Again, cattle batteries. Let's take a look at that. The EU wants to use satellites to automatically prevent your car from speeding. Report. Andrew's people were just saying that they didn't want their autonomous cars speeding. Interesting. I've been peeking in on Kobe Pierce's buoy to the bay, or boy to the bay, buoy or boy, whichever you want to say. The Bay FSD 14 light trip. I'm not sure how far along they are. Left mile marker 0 at Key West on the 9th and making their way to Alaska. Wow. I love the name of that vehicle. Highlander. Yes, indeed. I think that'll be all from Inside EVs. We will go to... Who do you want to go to next, just to make sure we've caught all the weird little edge cases I didn't catch in the news. Volt posts, lamppost EV chargers are coming to a parking lot spot near you. Okay. Another Chinese EV player just landed in North America. In Canada. Leap Motor has launched the B10 crossover in Mexico. No, it wasn't Canada. Just as the US is cracking down harder than ever on Chinese cars. Why BMW isn't giving up on hydrogen cars? Because they've lost their gourds. There's no reason for you to be investing anything in hydrogen cars except for in R&D projects. You might find something that R&D can use for the real world, but you are not going to make the economics of hydrogen work in the real world for passenger cars or light transport, or probably even heavy transport, unless you come up with new physics or new materials. It's just the numbers are not there. Stop trying to push it on the public. We don't mind you R&D in it, but we do mind you getting our government money to get people to buy these expensive vehicles that aren't going to last. And it's not as bad as it was the spread. You know, the $30, $36 a kilogram, that's $30 to $36 a gallon equivalent. If that's still the same and it hadn't gone up with the rest of everything else in the world, then it's not as bad of a fuel discrepancy. But I assume that it has gone up as much as everything else in the rest of the world, and so now you're probably looking at $40 to $50 a kilogram or per gallon. That's a presumption. I didn't do the math or anything. I just flung them out of thin air. If anybody has the new current numbers for per kilogram for hydrogen right now, I would love to know. This flaw keeps sabotaging solid-state batteries. Scientists found a solution. We'll see. Solid-state batteries have been coming for, 30 years now? 20 years? And that's Dupolino. All right, so let's check out, let's just do electric. And then we'll go read the stories I plucked out, and then we'll call it a day. Tesla claims cybercab driving employees at Gig Texas in a parking lot. Okay, it's a big parking lot. Another state adds a way to report reckless e-bike and scooter riders. Okay. Unigrid's sodium-ion home battery debuts in Europe. US is next. Oh, speaking of sodium batteries, 2Bit Da Vinci just put out a video that I enjoyed. Ricky was one of the first people to explain sodium batteries to me in a way that covered all of my questions. Didn't get into any of the hype. I'm not saying that that Brian and others haven't done it. I'm just saying that this is the first one I've seen all the way through that that did it in a way that clicked with me. So if you want to check that out, Ricky and crew have that out there. So Unigrid's sodium-ion battery debuts in Europe. US is next. Musk tells Tesla staff to switch to Grok, a model he admits is worse. Interesting. And I'm assuming this is before the 4.5, so maybe that's what they mean by the is worse, because before the 4.5, it was losing in competitiveness, and at 4.5, like everybody else had to re-rev their models. So OpenAI came out with a new one, and Anthropic came out with a new one, and it was interesting. Oh, and even the open weights, open sources, they came out with new ones. Not that you can actually run them at home, as who pointed that out? You can't run them at home. Theo pointed you can't run them at home. I've got the RAM for it on one of my machines, but I don't have. It's not GPU RAM, so it's not helpful. Or I could run it in RAM on CPU and really slowly, and then also not run anything else that needs running. Tesla claims gig is cybercab. Yep, we talked about that. Unigrid, self-dealing, BYD Seagull revealed with a longer body and more upgrades. Good on them. OpenAI responds to Apple's trade secret theft lawsuit. Interesting. Apple sues OpenAI, accuses ex-employees of stealing trade secrets. Lee has found out for us that $30 to $36 a kilogram for hydrogen in California per Google. So it hasn't gone up at all. Am I ever in the live chat rooms on X? No and yes. I'm on the one that comes into my consolidated stream here on the software. So that's why both. But there's so much going on hosting one of these that until I get a little more like somebody to control some of the screens while I do some of this, it's a little more difficult for me to do that. I'm envious of the broadcast TV folks who have a little chat window in the side, and they have like a team just putting stuff in and out of there for them, and then they can chat with that while it's not their turn to talk. That's quite a nice solution. And then, of course, the ones that are single person talking on TV, it's a little harder for them to do. I understand that. Excuse me. Google starts rolling out local documents backup on Android. Lets you turn off SMS and RCS. That's not for this, but it's interesting. I'll look at it. Ridiculously thin magnetic power bank fits on the Pixel 10. Okay, that's cool. DJI shows how drones are changing in avalanche rescue. That's always good. They got a podcast. Top 10 best-selling EVs in the US so far in 26. Xiaomi reveals the Sky Nomad N90, a living room on wheels. Let's take a look at that. Deals. Yeah, but I'm fine on my battery. Ooh, EcoFlow. Ego, though. What's this about the Ego? Excuse me, the Ego pressure washer. This looks like a Gen 2, or the original one, but from another angle that I've seen it before. It looks like Eufy cameras with the old home base, the old new home base, the home base 3. I've got the security home base on the, they've upgraded me. It's interesting. I wonder which one this is. It looks like I only have a single lens, but it's got the solar panels and the PTZ base. Let's see. Express Solo Cam E42, 4-cam kit with home base 3 at 470. And Ego's 3200 PSI electric pressure washer with 2 times batteries at a new $679 low. Volkswagen's EV van makes a surprise comeback in the US as the ID4 goes on hiatus. That's intriguing alone right there. Toyota's promising big things for Lexus LFA EV sports car, but will we ever get to see it? No. Was it Betteridge's rule of headlines? Okay, I think we found enough. I think we found enough sidetracks, but that one made me stop right there. Yamaha launches sporty Aerox e-electric scooter with removable batteries. So the question now is this using the Ego, or is it using the Japanese copy of it? That's we don't know if it's compatible or not. Global EV sales hit 2 million in June, and the U.S. falls further behind. But the U.S. is going in the right direction finally with EVs. Lee says, "Can I scoot? Good to see you." I think I'm gonna try. I saw something. I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna try it and see what happens first. Because if I say it and it doesn't work and I don't like it, I don't want to. You didn't try hard enough or anything. We'll see. SolarEdge says this new Lego-like home battery installs in under 30 minutes. Cool. All right, so let's comment on the stuff that I just found. Speed round. I was doing them. I gotta jump around because it put them all in the order I clicked on them. Reverse. Click there. Close that. Switch to Grok. Model units is worse. Oof. Scratching my nose. I wasn't telling you to move the screen. It comes days after Tesla capped employee spending on third-party AI tools. It lands even more through Musk himself because he's Grok is not as good. Memo says switch to Grok where possible. 4.5's lower token costs. This is what everybody's trying to do, though, is lower the token costs. He also asked engineers to email directly feedback on the model. So are they supposed to pay their own to test the competition to compare? Others have an awesome day, Lee. Andrew's been working with Tesla staff to troubleshoot issues despite the effort. For people familiar with internal usage, previously said that Tesla engineers broadly prefer Anthropic's Claude for day-to-day development work. I've heard a lot of good stuff about Anthropic's Claude. Grok 4.5. Oh, so this is the new one. Ranks below OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google. But one thing I did see about 4.5 is that it was really good for the cost. So it would take like $5 to match one of the competitors to Grok 4.5. Pattern repeats elsewhere on live bench. Grok only reached the bottom of the top tier. Spot occupied by the open Chinese models costs a fraction of the price. Oh, so the cheapest of the paid. Oh, you need me to click? I can click. There you go. Let's try to turn off the tablet screen again. And after all the time it took to turn that on, I don't think we'll let it go. More Tesla shareholders will probably like Musk's self-dealing as it hastens the possibility of SpaceX acquiring Tesla. Investors who care about valuation ratios and responsible CEO behavior have long since divested of any holdings in Musk Companies. Interesting. Okay, so next, let's click on one of these other ones at random and share this tab instead and close the first one. Yes. Can you extend an EV's range with portable battery banks? This guy's trying it and succeeding. I need to find out how he did it. He talked about it, but it wasn't quite clear. It's over on the Trucked Up EVs at YouTube. Okay, so there, I must have missed this video. What you're thinking? You're not talking about rigging up some plug to the vehicle's charge port as it drives down the road. It's using a prototype system called EverDrive that taps directly into the car's high voltage system. Oh, okay, interesting. Essentially, the system adds an aux 1772 port to the vehicle. F-150 Lightning has the port mounted on the bed by drilling a hole in its bed liner, and adjoining power cables are snaked below the truck. Next, the cables are run to the front of the truck where it's spliced into the EverDrive prototype, and ultimately, the truck's onboard chargers using a series of relays and microcontroller. I like that clear top to that project box. I might have to use a project box like this for some stuff I'm working on. The brain of the system is a microcontroller manufactured by Peak. The controller sends custom programmed CAN messages to the truck, which is combined with relays. Oh, okay, I see. I can do some stuff with this. Now the system is installed. You pack the bed with 16 kilowatts worth of Blue Eddy battery packs and set off to drive the system out. Don't get twisted, the price is not cheap. Yeah, that's the thing that was getting me was the Blue Eddies are expensive. And if it can do DC power instead of AC power, then I've got some ideas for this. So I will keep this one open and come back to it. So let me. I'm gonna end up moving this. Let's raindrop it to a special place. I keep it. I'm going to. We're gonna move this one to. Yeah, I know it's already in Let's Chat. We're gonna move it to this other place. Keep stuff I want to come back to for later. Then I can close the tab. And then by the time I remember to go look at it, he'll have had more progress on it. Solar Edge. Says its new Lego-like home battery installs in under 30 minutes. Is that a Mazda RX-8 there? That's what it looks like. Or it's a render. I don't know. I do kind of like that style of the door, though. The new platform is designed to eliminate some of the biggest headaches installers face when adding home battery storage, including lengthy installation times, complicated wiring, electrical panel upgrades, and limited options for where batteries can be installed. We'll see. 40% less wall space, comparable systems. A single inverter platform can support residential installations ranging from 3.8 kilowatts to 13 kilowatts. It's been a tough ride for Israel headquartered SolarEdge. The company was one of the biggest winners during the rooftop solar boom before the market turned in 2023. Yep. Sending its stock into a deep decline. Oh yeah, I think I do still have some SolarEdge stock hanging around there. But Wall Street is warm to the company again as turnaround gains momentum. The Nexus is one of the projects SolarEdge is counting on to keep that recovery going. Share this tab instead. The Rivian R2 is getting in launch mode. It'll be quicker than Tesla Model Y performance. It's getting making it faster in the quarter mile than its biggest competitor. Some good news for all those speed demons planning on getting the Model Y. The Rivian R2 performance. It's getting quicker. Rivian's chief software officer, Wasim Mensed, said that the R2 is getting in launch mode with its next over-the-air update. And what's better than just telling folks about the new feature? Showing it to them, of course. Benson did by posting a video on the R2 of an R2 sprinting all the way up to its top speed. Really? Let's take a look. Oh, I like that launch mode. Get a little drag timer. That was quick. 130. You must stop. I still like how in ludicrous mode my numbers. Well, actually, not just ludicrous mode, but in ludicrous mode, especially, my numbers turn red at the where it's about to cut me off. And they'll still do it in regular mode too, but the numbers themselves are just red, not the cool display. And where have I seen this? On the track, of course. Because you can't have a performance vehicle and not take the track once, right? That's a waste. I mean, you can, but still waste. Alright, so let's see what Yamaha is doing, and if they're using the Japanese version, or if they're using the Gogoro standard. Yamaha's entered into India. Oh, and they're in India too. Especially more reason for them to be using the Gogoro, because that's where they're based. India. Increasingly competitive premium electric scooter market. The Aerox E, an electric version of the popular sporty maxi scooter. Rather than chasing outright affordability, Yamaha is targeting riders looking for performance-focused urban transportation with premium features. So it's not a premium scooter, but one of the highest scooter price tags in the country. Gotta earn that price. Retains the style of the gas one, compete with sharp twin headlights, 9.4 kilowatt electric motor, oh my goodness. Producing 48 newton meters of torque, enough to propel it to a top speed of 59 miles an hour. Riders can choose between Eco, Standard, and Power ride modes. The dedicated Boost mode provides acceleration for overtaking or quick launches away from traffic lights. The motor is powered by a pair of removable 1.5 kilowatt hour batteries, providing a combined 3 kilowatt hours of storage capacity. Yamaha claims up to 73 miles of range on the Indian driving cycle, and the batteries can be charged from empty to full in around 3 hours and 10 minutes using the supplied dock charger. The removable battery design also makes charging more convenient for riders without access to parking near an outlet. However, the batteries do not appear to be based on one of several competing standards, such as the Honda MPP. Oh, so it's not using the Japanese standard, which a consortium of motorcycle makers, including Yamaha, have previously backed in a unified swappable battery standard. So it's not using that one. Does it then go to say it's not using the Go-Go? It just goes on to something else. Arrives with a respectable list of premium features, including traction control. It's very important. Color TFT dashboard. Nah, it's not as important. With smartphone connectivity, that's pretty cool. Through Yamaha's Y-Connect app. Okay. Also, something more open standards, please. Smart key functionality, that's cool. All LED lighting, wider rear tires, designed to improve stability. Launch strategy comes with us a challenge. It's priced at 282,000 INR, roughly 2950 US, which is it's above several established premium electric scooters in India. Initial impressions from test riders and Indian media also suggest that the real-world range may land closer to 50 miles, not 73, in eco mode rather than approaching the full 117 kilometers claim. That's not so good there. Even so, if Yamaha can convince a few buyers that the blend of refinement, performance, and brand reputation is worth the premium, yeah, I play a Yamaha piano. Let me get a Yamaha scooter. Yamaha agreed to a swappable standard with several other manufacturers and then decided to release an incompatible swappable battery of their own. These people should be harmed, he says. I don't know about harming them, but yeah, they don't deserve the business. Just on that alone. Or maybe somebody can make an adapter. Possibly. Everyone likes to promote the advantages of swappable batteries, but the advantage is zero if every manufacturer has their own incompatible standard. At just 1.5 kilowatt hours, the battery is barely twice the size of my e-bike, and still less than the popular Gogoro at 1.7 kilowatt hours, which makes a battery standard so close in size to an existing one. Have you seen the FKCD standards comic? That's why. Clearly, they just want to trap their users into their proprietary system. I hope this backfires. Meanwhile, it just muddies the waters for everyone. And that's one of the things you'll see with me with the HV Nomads project, the new one, is that I'm going for openness where I can, and compatibility as well. There will be things that have to be done proprietary, but you can work around them. I mean, we'll see what happens. But my goal is open source, right to repair, all that. Long range is not crucial to most riders. These are urban commuter devices, not touring motorbikes, to an extent. Hopefully batteries are becoming even more energy dense and lighter soon, maybe. Alright, so that's enough of that for now. Let's see what VW is up to. Getting the lineup up to half of the models could die. Streamlining their portfolio by up to 50%. Number of available optional equipment is decreasing up to 75%. It sounds like you guys did not listen to Herbert at all. You're scrambling right now. The new things are bad at Volkswagen Auto Group for a while, VAG. But the severity of the situation is downright shocking. Yeah, because last week we talked about layoffs, or week before last, we talked about layoffs. In a worrying press release issued just minutes ago on July 9th, the German automotive conglomerate revealed a sweeping plan to drastically downsize, not in a few years, but with immediate effect. It intends to reduce its model lineup across its brands by up to 50%. Yes, the portfolio could be cut in half, leaving only the models competing in the most attractive market segments. That's not all. The number of available options for the surviving models will be cut by up to 75%. The Volkswagen Group has done an excellent job in allowing its customers to configure their cars down to the tiniest of details. This Porsche. I was looking at the e-tron, not Audi. That's the other e-tron. Looking at the Porsche Taycan. Their option sheet was ridiculous. Highlander says it just bought a baby drone on Temu, Model E88. Sounds like fun. Sadly, these days appear to be ending as cost-cutting agenda for a dramatically simplified list of options. The juggernaut wants to prioritize products and technologies that deliver the greatest added value to customers and the highest value contribution to the group. Really, that's some Dominion Energy doublespeak right there. That's all they care about right there, that last section. Excuse me, sorry. It'll focus on the most popular models and those that generate the highest profit margins with immediate effects. Several models have already been discontinued, from the Touareg and Touran minivans gone. The T-Roc convertible is going to follow soon. And elsewhere, Audi recently bid adieu to the A1 Super Mini and the Q2 Subcompact, and the discontinuation of the TT, the R8, and oh wow, the R8 gone? You'd think they would keep a Halo car even through all of this, just to keep the eyeballs on you. The TT, it was not long for the world in the modern world. The Q8 e-tron is one of the last few years. Okay, well, didn't we just say that not too many people have seen too many Audi EVs? The VW Group is also reducing its annual production capacity to just 9 million units. It's a far cry from the COVID era where the company invested in boosting its total capacity to around 12 million vehicles. Woo. Since then, it's already cut its capacity by 2 million units and is now looking to eliminate another million. Despite the further reduction in annual production capacity, the company isn't commenting on reports of potential closure of 4 points. At the end of June, the German business publication Manager Magazine wrote that VW Group could shut down the Zivico, Empton, and the Hanover and the Neckarsulm sites. Moreover, the report alleged that the company is looking to double the number of layoffs to 100,000. I think we talked about that part. Or did we talk about the 50,000? Either way, wow. The 2026 Touareg Final Edition. Don't look bad for a fossil. Sleek dashboard. Final Edition. Motor One says that even with all the reports raising red flags about the VW Group's dire situation, today's announcement is a lot to take in. Gutting the lineup to this extent is practically unheard of in the automotive industry. Then again, the product portfolio is enormous. Wait a minute. Is not. Tesla did it. So they killed the S and the X. But they didn't really matter to the future of the company. These could have several customers in mind for them, not just the little token numbers that the S and the X were pulling. Insiders claim advisors are recommending Ducati should be put up for sale. Ducati? Why, Lamborghini should become publicly traded. Oh, spin off Lamborghini, sell Ducati. But the VW Group remains tight-lipped. However, a recent company statement stopped short of explicitly ruling out either move. In light of today's announcement, it seems that almost anything is possible. Something about Rimac there. Volkswagen core brand, Audi, Seat, Cupra, Skoda, Porsche, Bentley, and Lamborghini. Bugatti is no longer part of the picture after Porsche sold its stake in the Bugatti Rimac. Okay. Interesting. Trim the fat, come back leaner and meaner. In theory. Do you really need 4 sizes of SUVs? How about a small one and a big one and call it good? Well, yeah, they kind of need a model in each segment. No different to regular cars. Comments broken, or is my internet deciding? Oh, there it goes. Deciding they didn't want to share. Do they really? Do they really? Tesla Model Y outsells all VW SUVs combined. Costs associated with producing multiple SUVs certainly has an impact on profitability. I'll give you that. If we were to measure on a model's worth by comparing its sales to the Model Y, there wouldn't be many cars worth saving. VW is very good at platform sharing, and every SUV model they make has at least 2 sister models within the group to maximize economies of scale. Yeah, but if they cut by 50%, then they can get rid of the sisters as well. Good article on the subject at Wall Street Journal. Volkswagen Fast Jobs Factory is under threat like never before. They could sell bulletproof, bug-free vehicles that aren't plagued by recalls that they wouldn't have to be cutting in it. Oh, snap. They have plenty of chances to make appealing vehicles that people would want to own, but instead they chose to make hideous EVs and cars with no buttons for basic functions. It's a daggum shame. Scrap twin turbo and bring back 6-cylinder engines. Alright, sure. My EV needs to do 8,000 miles on a charge and charge in 12 minutes or less. I think VEW should do is scrap brands Seat, Cupra, and Skoda. Scrap them, just spin them out. It's all their efforts around one budget brand called VW. The extra overhead of all these silly badges is bad enough. You know what though? I was just watching a video documentary on Japan's badge engineering, and it started with Toyota, and then they were talking about the Mitsubishi, Honda, and Mazda badge engineering shops during the 90s through 2019, and there is such a thing as too many, and this isn't an unfounded suggestion here. It'd be pretty stupid to just go to Cupra, two very popular and successful brands. You do realize that Skoda is actually more profitable per unit than Volkswagen. We saw the same calculus going on when they saved Buick in favor of Pontiac. Buick is very popular in China. Pontiac was not. They had to get rid of one, so Pontiac got the axe. They being General Motors, which really the perfect analog for this, because they were the U.S. version of Volkswagen, right? Volkswagen is the European version of GM. However you want to look at it. If you follow automotive stories, you know all German companies aren't selling good over the last few years. VW was almost the larger car maker in the world at one point. They were almost, but they are not now. So you guys saw me stop scrolling on giant battery pack. BYD wins 11.3 gigawatt hour battery deal for the world's largest solar plus storage contract. That is one pretty battery. BYD Energy Storage landed the contract to supply 11.275 gigawatt hours of battery storage for Masdar's round-the-clock project in Abu Dhabi, one of the single largest energy storage procurements ever signed. The RTC project pairs a 5.2 gigawatt solar array with a 19 gigawatt hour battery system, making it the world's largest combined solar plus storage plant. But the sun doesn't shine tonight. Well, bottle it. BYD's award covers the majority of that storage. I was about to say that number is smaller, so who's putting the rest of it there? It does make sense to have multiple suppliers, especially on something this large. Just cover your bases. The biggest solar plus storage project on Earth, Masdar and the Emirates Water and Electricity Company, EWEC, are building the RTC plant to do something that solar has never reliably done at gigawatt scale: deliver clean power 24 hours a day. Cover the project first in January of 25, when Masdar announced plans for a 5.2 gigawatt solar plant, coupled with a 19 point... We'll take a look when Mommy makes the list. She's making grocery requests. According to BYD, its share of the project is a single battery station rated at 1644 megawatts, so 1.644 gigawatts, 11.275 gigawatt hours, using the company's Hohan storage system. That one station holds more energy than most countries' entire grid storage fleets. This is true. Chinese suppliers now own the entire 19 gigawatt hours. Okay, so the other source or sources is also Chinese. Wow. Here's the detail worth noting. When Masdar unveiled the RTC project in 2025, it announced CATL as the preferred battery supplier. It's BYD here. Okay, interesting. But it sounds like BYD's got the lion's share of the project. SunGrow signed for the remaining 7.5 gigawatt hours in earlier phase. Combined, the two Chinese firms have locked up the full 19 gigawatt hours, leaving no room for Western battery makers on the world's flagship storage project. I think I know what they're saying there, Western battery makers. They're eyeing one in particular. There are more, but there's one in particular. It's a clean illustration of how thoroughly Chinese manufacturers dominate grid-scale storage. The same LFP cell scale that made BYD and CATL the world's largest EV battery producers is now being turned directly onto the utility market. Bigger cells, simpler systems. The Hohan system leans on BYD's 2170 amp-hour blade battery, a cell with more than 300% higher capacity than the legacy grid storage cells, according to the company. Fewer bigger cells mean fewer connections, and fewer connections mean less stuff to go wrong in theory. BYD says that cuts battery management system complexity by 70 to 80%. Wow. And packs 10 megawatt hours into a standard 20-foot container. So one TEU is, well, it's not even TEU, it's a full, they said a standard 20-foot container. The system is rated at IP66 for dust and sand, built to run from negative 30 to 55 C. Necessary for the Abu Dhabi desert. BYD says the accompanying GC Master Energy Management System can manage up to 15 gigawatt hours in a single station. You're going to have to do better than that if you got a bigger than a 15 gigawatt hours station. The numbers are just insane here. BYD and CATL have a massive advantage over energy storage competition such as Tesla because they produce all their battery cells and therefore own the full production process. From battery cells to packs to deployment, it's unsurprising to see the biggest and then land the biggest contracts, even though the size of the contracts is surprising. So Tesla does make some cells; they just don't make enough of their cells to compete with something like that statement there. What's the expected blended cost per kilowatt hour delivered? How does it compare to burning gas or oil, which are abundant in the region? Obviously enough that they were considering doing this. Initial investment is about 22 AED billion, or 6 billion US, with additional capex around 15 to 30 years, depending on cleaning and maintenance, financing costs. We can estimate the LCOE to be around 3.2 to 4.5 cents per kilowatt hour. Wow. If they were said built into the equivalent park of modern gas plant, it would probably be around $1 billion, but with a much higher fuel cost, can't beat free, and much more OPEX. Over a 30-year life, we'd be looking at about 4.8 to 5.5 cents per kilowatt hour, and that's not factoring in the negative externalities from 30 years of emissions. The scientific community broadly agrees on the value of $200 a ton of emitted carbon when looking at climate change-induced infrastructure damage, additional health care, crop failures, and everything. And that's assuming that nothing changes, just linear. When factoring in these negative costs, the gas plant becomes much more expensive at about 12 cents to 12.7 cents per kilowatt hour, while the Masdar solar plant only becomes 4.8 to 6.1 cents per kilowatt hour. Impressive. Thanks for the detailed explanation and numbers. Appreciated. 3.2 cents must be based on a ridiculously low cost of funds. I get 5.5 to 6 cents per kilowatt hour using the blended COF. 6 billion is cheap too, but possible with imported parts and labor. No tariffs, obviously, would be 10 billion plus in the U.S. or $1 a watt for utility scale solar, plus 25 cents a watt hour for Tesla Megapacks or similar. So 5.2 billion plus 4.75 billion plus grid connect. So more expensive here, but not substantially so. To the point where it's unworkable. $1 per watt is what we used to think was a really good price for solar back in 2016. Export that oil for profit, while cheap solar batteries pay for themselves in 7 to 10 years, if not sooner, with data centers begging for gigawatts. They know that oil is finite. Hey, it's working for Norway. Is this thing still on? I didn't notice the screen blacked out. Last week it just petered out on me, and I didn't even see it. Well, I noticed it was too late. Incredible. In the heart of the oil-drenched Middle East. Luckily, that oil-drenched Middle East is also sun-drenched, and the economics of the sun are starting to beat out the economics of oil. So this would be where we see some hydrogen stuff come into play, just like we saw that island in Scotland, where they don't have enough feedback to the mainland, and so they put what they can through the wire, and the rest of it they send in bottles as hydrogen to the mainland. Yes. She hurt her chin. What'd she do? Jumping with you? No. She tripped? No? How'd she hurt her chin? Talk to me. I'm talking. What's up? All right, so the comment section has devolved over there. Let's go ahead and talk about Waymo. Trust is earned. The feds are officially tired of robotaxis getting in the way of first responders. One federal agency is telling robotaxi companies that it's time to stop interfering with police and firefighters. NHTSA is warning robotaxi providers they need to start doing better. Specifically, the agency is urging developers behind the driverless cars to address how the cars handle emergency scenes. The agency's administrator called on companies to prioritize interactions with first responders. All right, so if you give this thing some teeth and you make it more than just the cost of doing business, they will do what you want them to do. Particularly the one that was used to be part of the Don't Be Evil. This week, NHTSA published a letter that sent to robotaxi operators with a clear message that it's time to shape up. We will look at this letter. If you've been on social media over the last several years, you've probably seen at least one video of chaos. They usually look like this. Some have crashed into fire trucks, others driven into construction zones, and police have even pulled them over for various traffic infractions, and the list goes on. NHTSA singling out one specific way in which it says driverless cars are misbehaving now. The agency is telling operators that emergency scenes are not rare or extreme edge cases, and it's calling the current state of industry unacceptable. Oh, okay, you have the part of the letter that matters. I don't need to read the whole letter then. Here's what the NHTSA administrator Jonathan Morrison has to say about in the letter. Over the past several months, NHTSA has identified a clear pattern of driverless AVs interfering with law enforcement and other first responders. The agency has documented multiple instances in which AVs drove directly into active emergency scenes, blocked the paths of ambulances and firefighters, or failed to recognize and respond to basic safety conditions like flashing lights, flares, smoke, and traffic cones. This is unacceptable. To state it bluntly, an AV that cannot safely interact with first responders is a danger to the general public. Bravo. Morrison goes on to set expectations for what it wants from the industry by demanding that AV providers prioritize interactions with first responders. He also noted that the agency will set up meetings with the developers of these systems by the end of the year to know how they will solve ongoing problems. Should the companies behind the robotaxis fail to address the issue, NHTSA says it has no problem continuing to exercise its enforcement authority for developers that do not address what the agency views as significant safety concerns. The letter isn't all doom and gloom. It also shares the sentiment that robotaxis have the ability to radically change the way Americans get around. Not only might the mature version of autonomous vision help reduce roadway fatalities, but it could also drastically improve mobility for all walks of life. But in order To unleash the innovation, Morrison wants it warns that it needs to be done safely. That begins by protecting those that are already handling dangerous situations. Public trust is on our roads is earned, not given. I thought the one comment would be something cool, but it was a job scammer. All right, so yeah. Here's the letter. Okay, it's not bad. Sometimes these things go on forever. July 8th, driverless automated system developers. NHTSA recognizes and supports the immense potential of automated vehicle technology to reduce human error and improve safety on our nation's roadways. We have backed up that belief with action, launching a major AV framework, leveling the playing field so that American innovators are not subject to stricter rules that foreign competitors, slashing redundant red tape, hosting the agency's first ever AV summit. As exciting as these innovations are, our fundamental responsibility remains ensuring that the safety of the driving public. Under Secretary Duffy's leadership, Goldilocks approach, removing roadblocks to technical change while staying laser focused on safety, will enable America to lead the way in this automated revolution. But we will never achieve that goal if we ignore a recent disturbing trend. Over the past several months, NHTSA has identified a clear pattern of driverless AVs interfering with law enforcement and other first responders. Excuse me, that was going to be a cough. It was a yawn. Probably a cough right behind it. Excuse me. The agency has documented multiple instances in which AVs drove through directly into emergency scenes, blocked the paths of ambulances and firefighters, or failed to recognize and respond to basic conditions like flashing lights, flares, smoke, and fire, and traffic cones. It's unacceptable. Stated bluntly, an AV that cannot safely interact with first responders is a danger to the general public. Every second matters with law enforcement officers, firefighters, paramedics are answering a call because lives are on the line. This is why human drivers who impede these operations are subject to fines and even jail time. We have a framework. So, when an AV disrupts first responders or impedes emergency vehicles, it ceases to be a minor software anomaly. The technology driving alongside them must support their efforts and get out of the way, not disrupt their life-saving missions or compound the dangers they face. Let me be clear. The inability to detect or appropriately respond to such situations represents a functional insufficiency. Emergency scenes are not rare or extreme edge cases. As such, the NHTSA is today issuing a call to action for AV developers and operators to immediately focus their resources on fixing this issue. We expect you to prioritize first responder interactions and will schedule meetings with driverless automated driving system developers by month's end to hear your solutions. Month's end. It sounded like year's end in the article. To hear your solutions. NHTSA has already been active in this space and will continue to exercise our enforcement authority for developers that do not address significant safety concerns. Public trust on our roads is earned, not given. Our agency looks forward to collaborating with you on this vital challenge, from reducing roadway fatalities to helping disabled Americans get where they need to go. AV technology has the power to radically transform our roads for the better. Working together, we can continue to unleash American innovation safely and bring out one of the greatest technology advancements in modern history. Sincerely, Jonathan Morrison, Administrator. Wow. This is right. And the only thing I would say, even above first responders, is I do like Tesla's absolute focus on VRUs, vulnerable road users. So you got bicyclists, bicyclists, pedestrians, people in wheelchairs, just random, just pedestrians, just all over the place. I think that they should be even above the first responders, but put them in that same level category, maybe the first responders, and then we're good. Now, of course, not driving through an active scene might be even more important than the VRUs, because then you've got people who might not be moving and are in the road surface. So yeah, I'd put that up there. Put the whole scene at the same level as a VRU, and then put the first responders themselves as a very close number two to the VRUs. All right, let's talk about Hyundai Lease real quick. Hyundai Ioniq 6 lease deal is cheaper than a nice night out, a really nice night out. Of course, maybe it's been a long time since I've had enough of a nice night out without the children's, that my pricing is skewed. Automaker is offering a 4-door EV for less than $200 per month in California. In New York, the lease is slightly higher, but still extremely attractive. Not bad. It was very fuel efficient too. Moving on. Everyone is afraid of EV battery degradation, and it's all the Nissan Leaf's fault. The Nissan Leaf made battery degradation look terrifying, but most modern EVs are not aging the same way. This is true. The Nissan Leaf is one of the original modern purpose-built EVs, so it's what many people still picture when they think of an EV. The Leaf was advanced, likable, and forward-thinking in many ways. And genuinely important, but it also had one engineering flaw that may be responsible for giving EVs a reputation they are still trying to shake. Its battery pack was passively air-cooled, and engineering compromise left it with very little control over cell temperature. The big downside was that Nissan Leafs tended to lose battery capacity more quickly than other EVs, especially those with actively liquid-cooled battery packs, especially in hot climates. Leaving the battery temperature up to the elements resulted in accelerated degradation and capacity loss in a vehicle that had less range than some modern plug-in hybrids to begin with. If your EV could manage around 80 miles when new, and then fell to 30 miles after a few years, it stopped being a normal car and became a local errand runabout. This gave people the impression that EV batteries were as short-lived as those in their smartphones, because they were built the same way in the Nissan Leaf and your smartphone. Excuse me. And by the same people. But for the vast majority of EVs, that's not even close to true. Let me explain. Welcome to Degradation Diaries, a column that breaks down everything you need to know about EVs as they age. Should you be worrying about EV degradation? Battery degradation is different from all other EV-related concerns. Buyers can easily understand charging delays, winter range loss, and varied charging speeds. But a degraded battery sounds like the electric equivalent of a blown engine. And depending on who you go to get it repaired, could cost the same. The real reason battery degradation worries EV owners so much is the very high cost of replacement pack. Yeah, that's what I just said. There is, of course, truth to this. A 2026 AAA survey, the high cost of battery repair or replacement was the most cited reason people said they were unlikely to buy an EV. Oof. At 56% ahead of the purchase price, long distance suitability, range anxiety, and charging concerns. So the FUD has not a number, because even if you did have to replace an EV pack, as long as it wasn't an original Nissan Leaf type 3-year deal, it was about the same as doing a transmission job or an engine overhaul on a combustion car. Battery degradation isn't as scary as you may think, especially after hearing Leaf degradation stories. Many older high-mileage EVs are still in their original battery packs. Some of them are more than a decade old. Actual battery failure is exceedingly rare on modern cars. So while slow capacity loss of a lithium-ion-based EV battery pack is unavoidable, battery packs can last a long time, still providing enough of their original range to make the car usable. And why the Leaf scared everyone. For over 15 years, 2 model generations, the Nissan Leaf saw numerous improvements, but it only ever came with air-cooled batteries. That's because air-cooled is being very generous, because only the ENV 200 had an air-cooled battery, like actively air-cooled. It had a computer case fan, a server fan, in the battery, while the Leaf was passively air-cooled. So it relied on the environment entirely. It didn't suck air in. It had the air wafting through it like a bug, not a Volkswagen bug, but like an insect. travel far beyond leaf forms where they originated. The first leaf with an active battery thermal management is the new crossover model, its third generation, which is one of our favorite affordable EVs. But the first and second generation Leafs, I think they're still just one generation. They had a reskin, basically. Used air-cooled batteries and suffered massive degradation as a result. A New Zealand study found Leaf batteries degraded relatively quickly. However, even if Leaf batteries will degrade more quickly than those of modern EVs with thermal management, some variants appear to show unsuitably high annual capacity loss. Yep. New Zealand study, based on 1382 battery health readings from 283 Leafs, found that 30 kilowatt-hour Leafs showed an annual battery health decline of 9.9% at 2 years old. That's ridiculously high. Yeah, it is. Mine is pushing 8, and it's at around 8. Huh. Even the earlier 24 kilowatt-hour cars weren't so bad at 3.1% degradation per year on average. Yeah. But most people wanted the 30 because you got a little bit of extra range, so I hadn't heard much about the 24. Interesting. Nissan later issued a software update for some 30 kilowatt-hour models because the battery controller could inaccurately or incorrectly report capacity, but early owner experience has already done its damage. Early Leaf forums were full of drivers watching battery bars disappear, especially in hot climates, and owner stories are even more damaging than the official studies. One independent test in Arizona, as our friend eCars and eBooks Timothy says, Arizona, in 2012, cited by Green Car Reports, RIP, found that one of the cars had tested only 60 to 65% of its original capacity in 2012. The car came out in 2011 officially, as early as 2010 if you were an early adopter. Wow. Found that the cars tested 60%, as it could only drive 59 miles before running out of battery. The car couldn't have been more than 2 years old at that point. That's what I just said. Installing the new battery pack in early first generation Leaf was expensive too. In January 14, Nissan priced the replacement pack at $5,499 before tax and installation. The price assumed that you had a core return, which Nissan valued at $1,000. That's still way cheaper than what we were being quoted. We were being quoted like 20 grand. That didn't make the Leaf a bad EV. If you looked after yours, you could prolong its battery. But because so many people were looking to replace their Leaf packs, third-party companies popped up and offer upgraded packs with more power-dense cells and higher capacity. But its battery issues left a stain on the entire market, as the most popular early EV was also the one most prone to battery issues. Even as the data shows that modern EVs batteries are much better, it's hard to overcome reputational damage the Leaf did. You know, I came at this as a skeptic, but so far, they have a point. Well, you really don't have to worry. Excuse me. Alright, so I've learned how to say that correctly for the German, and I've forgotten already. So I won't even attempt, because what I had been saying, all of them were wrong. According to the National Renewable Energy Laboratory, NREL, which publishes a paper detailing the EV thermal battery management techniques, the conclusion is pretty blunt. High or low average battery temperature can accelerate lithium-related capacity loss in any EV. High temperatures, in particular, speed up unwanted chemical reactions inside the cell, including the growth of a protective layer that gradually consumes usable lithium as the battery ages. But there's a way to counter this. Active battery thermal management systems aim to keep the pack within its preferred temperature window, reduce the temperature differences between cells, and avoid hazards and accelerated wear associated with temperature extremes. They're fitted to every EV currently on sale in the US and are standard on most EVs worldwide. A study published by Geotab in January found that the 2015 Model S, which used liquid cooling, has an average degradation of 2.3%. In contrast, the 2015 Nissan Leaf with passive cooling shows a much higher rate of 4.2%. That's a 2016 S right there. S performance. For instance, this 2014 S with 100,000 miles has remarkable 85% of its original capacity. 11 years old. A feat like that would be impossible, virtually impossible, in any first and second generation Nissan Leaf. Glycol-based liquid cooling systems are found in almost every EV on sale today for this reason. From Teslas and Fords to Chevys and Volkswagens, automakers have learned that keeping the battery within its optimal temperature range is vital to ensuring long-term dependability. You also don't have to run a separate glycol-based coolant system with all the pumping and piping and extra complexity that it brings in order to cool the battery. BMW did something different with the original i3, which looped the air conditioning system into cooling the battery, giving the car direct control over its pack temperature. And we've got even more investments since then. Porsche Cayenne Electric, each module is individually connected to the water cooling. Thermal management systems have improved significantly, even from the early S. Modern EVs now team their glycol-based battery systems with heat pumps for maximum efficiency, even though they are usually presented as cold weather range savers because they can heat the cabin more efficiently than a simple resistive heater. In modern EVs, they can also be part of a much broader thermal management system. Instead of just making a heat pump move it around, instead of making heat, just move it around, a heat pump, allowing the car to scavenge more from the motors, power electronics, or outside air and send it where it's needed. In a car like the Model Y, the heat pump also works with the octavalve, which acts like a coolant traffic director, routing heat between the battery, cabin, drivetrain, chiller, and radiator, depending on whether the car needs to warm the pack before fast charging, cool it during hard use, or heat the cabin without wasting as much energy. EV rides can extend the range of your battery, at least non-leaf battery with battery upgrades. And EV battery thermal management will continue to evolve. Shell recently unveiled a one-off EV whose innovation is how it cools the battery cells. While currently EVs, the coolant circulates around parts of the cells, indirectly cooling them. Shell wants to fully immerse the cells in coolant to make the heat extraction more effective and efficient. And more EVs are routing coolant through the top of the pack along the sides of the cells, ensuring there are no hot spots anywhere in the battery that could accelerate degradation. 6 comments. Something funny about the numbers. Posted for that 2012 Arizona Leaf. I own one of these in Arizona. When it arrived new, it had a range of 73 miles, 73 to 59 miles, 19% degradation, not 40. Over 2 years, that's about 10% per year, about right for a non-lizard battery. Greetings from Germany. My 40 kilowatt hour ZE1 from January of 18 with 93,000 kilometers on the clock has lost almost 13% capacity. The 40 kilowatt hour chemistry loses 1% annually plus mileage. The CEO of Germany's largest EV rental company stated on their YouTube channel that the Nissan Leaf EV fleet had the lowest unplanned shop visits rates of all. Well, I mean, there's just less going on in there. If nothing's moving, nothing can break, right? I'm intensely relaxed about my car's capacity loss. Mitsubishi should get blamed as well. The Outlander PHEV used air-cooled batteries until 2021. My 18 has degraded 40% of the battery away already. The IMUs were also bad. So, yeah, they were using the same battery and the same CHAdeMO. Let's see what we're looking at here. Let's go to the VW van making a surprise turnabout here in the States. As the updated 2027 model, sales of Volkswagen's minibus bounced back, rising 120%. The ID4 is on a brief hiatus as it undergoes a major refresh. I mean, it's been looking like this for 30 years. It's only been out for, 3? 2? Shouldn't have been leading us on all that time, VW. ID Buzz is returning for 27 in the US after they decided to skip 26. They confirmed that it has sufficient inventory of the 25 Buzz to meet demand and would move straight to the 27, promising electric minibus was not being canceled for the US market. Well, so far they've kept that promise, despite troubles. In April, Volkswagen made good on its promise, introducing the 27 ID Buzz with a newer Tourer variant built for overnight camping trips. The updated model isn't expected to begin arriving in the dealerships until next month, with demand for the electric van has picked up over the past few months. They sold 1249 ID Buzz models in the second quarter, up 121% from 564 the same period last year. It's a relatively small number. It's over 4 times the number of e-transit electric vans Ford sold over the same period. Ooh, ouch. Gauntlet thrown. Plus VW is selling the 2025 model. Still selling this one. Wow. ID4 is Volkswagen electric SUV. Fared a different fate. Sales of the ID4 dropped off 6% in the US with 1867 models sold in Q2. Ouch. They announced in April they would end the production of the ID4 at Chattanooga to focus on a gas SUV. We talked about this one. And of its official debut, the electric SUV shown above left, compared with the ID4 on the right, has been spotted with an entirely new design. Check it out here. Okay, I see some differences, but nothing super exciting. Compared to the current ID4, the new model looks like a traditional gas-powered SUV with a squared-off front end and a redesigned hood, much like the Tiguan. It'll also feature more traditional door handles rather than the flush style. Probably just because they didn't want to find a way around the Chinese regulation like everybody else has with the little wing grabbers. That cockpit does not look bad compared to some of the stuff I've seen. Not too many buttons floating around. The screen isn't terrible looking. The gauge cluster hopefully has themes because that's a mess. And I like the dash and the door cards. Well, not for me, but not bad. ID Buzz would sell a lot more if it only had better range. It's a cool vehicle, kind of the perfect size for around town and road trip van, but with 370-ish kilometers of EPA range, it's not that appealing at the price. Yeah, if they could drop the price, then it could stay as is. If they could break 500 kilometers at the same price, then maybe. Yeah. ID Buzz bounced back. Volkswagen total sales plummeted 49%. Oof. Europe was the only market where VW posted higher EV sales in Q2 in 25. Ouch. The company is betting on next generation models like the ID Polo, ID Cross, and ID Tiguan for a comeback. Good luck. ID Buzz was on. Oh, yeah, we just read that one. It's just $20,000 too expensive for what it is. Yes. And the fact that in order to get the two-tone you paint, you have to throw another $5,000 to $6,000 to move up a trim. That's pretty crappy. They'd only ever showed it off with the two tones, and then like as it came to market, they came up with the single tone. Yeah. I was gonna go high trim anyway, but I toyed with the idea of buying a plain white and wrapping the lower section to replicate the two tone. Yeah, I've thought about doing something like that too. Something crazy and color shifting, like flashback inducing. If you're gonna do the bus, the 27 only comes in two tone. In case you missed it. Okay. Big batteries needed for boxy vehicles are expensive, and big vehicles will continue to be expensive and range limited until prices fall. Yeah. Switch. BMW iX3 just aced Euro NCAP's newer, stricter safety tests. Let's take a look. Pretty dope. 73%, 83%, 86%. Okay. Safe driving. Okay, didn't hit the car. Better not hit the rider. Ooh, that's too close for comfort. A bicyclist. Crash avoidance. Woo! That's a close call. It's very last minute at all these so far. Don't like that. At least it gave more room to the bed on both of those. Okay. So I feel a little bit safer on foot around this thing. Ooh, except for on that turning angle thing. No! Oh, okay. Ooh, it looked like I was going to clip the bike. Drift off the road. They corrected that. Lane departure. Yeah. Lane departure or lane change into somebody else. Okay. Oh, these are too close for comfort. I mean, they're passes, but woo. Anti-dooring? Okay, good. Now the crash. Okay, head on. Anybody can do that these days. Oh, it's not head on. That's a moderate overlap. All right. Full frontal. Yeah, anybody can do that these days. Okay, good. Side impact. A lot of crushing going on in there. Door came out. All the extra airbags did their work. Okay. Acceptable. I don't know what the rating ain't got, but to me, acceptable. All right, the pull test. Again, a lot of intrusion there. I mean, it looks like it passed, but it's a lot of intrusion. That's right where I sit. Okay, you get the chair test. That means our sausage test is coming up. Okay, there's the watermelon head test. All right. Oh, it activated the rear. Got the knee bag test thing. Oh, I popped off the thing. Oh, there's the meat sausage. Oh, it fails the meat sausage. Okay. There's a gallery there. No comments yet. All right, cattle vans. Which, if you didn't know, CATL was a company, that would be a really weird statement. Cattle vans. It also has a low temperature sodium ion version that barely loses range in negative 40 Fahrenheit. Okay, negative 40 period. Negative 40. Yeah. It's doing what new battery that can charge faster than most EVs, passenger EVs in the West. Has a warranty of over 600,000 miles. All right. Most commercial electric vehicles have subpar specs compared to the mainstream passenger EVs. Slower charging speeds, less range, are more workable for commercial vehicles focused on productivity and cost than they are for families. But CATL wants drivers of box trucks and vans to enjoy blistering charging speeds too, and has developed a dedicated battery for small rigs. CATL this week said that its new Tech Trans 2 battery will charge from 20 to 80% in under 7 minutes and take just 2 additional minutes to reach a full charge. The company also reportedly achieved several breakthroughs in durability, including reducing internal cell resistance by half versus the industry average. That allows the ions to move faster during charging and discharging, and there's also a low temperature sodium ion version of the battery that can retain 90% of capacity at negative 40 degrees. CATL is also back in the warranty with the 1 million kilometers, or 10 years. Nice. Cool stuff. China's capable of putting, yeah, maybe, but prove it. What kind of conspiratorial nonsense are you talking about? A U.S. company should license this tech and have it built over here, kind of like what Ford is trying to do, or we could let China build battery plants in the U.S. like Goshen was doing before it all went sideways. All right, take a look at Xiaomi. Xiaomi reveals the Sky Nomad N90, a living room on wheels. Take that, Toyota. With the 6 wheels. Xiaomi has unveiled the Sky Nomad N90, its first model on Sky Nomad series. Lost the screen down here again. I still haven't gone through and adjusted the settings on that. should probably just set it to like 2 hour timeout. Because then if I do forget and turns on, it won't totally cook the screen. The Zone is positioning the Sky Nomad as a living space built for families, but for long trips and camping. Interesting. The series is not a standalone brand, as earlier rumors suggested. It's the second line of the Xiaomi EV. It says it began developing an all-new platform, the Kunlun architecture, from scratch in 2023 with a flat floor and long seat rails that let the cabin reconfigure itself. So the sales series took 3.5 years to refine. All right. According to regulators, it will have Max Camping Edition, N70, N70 Max. Measures 5285 millimeters long, 1998 millimeters wide, 1825 millimeters tall, and 3080 millimeter wheelbase. Offered in 5 and 7 seat versions. Dual motor layout with peak outputs of 210 kilowatts and 100 kilowatts. CALB ternary lithium-ion battery and curb weight of 2,800 kilograms with a top speed of 190 kilometers per hour. Range extender. All right, I'm done. Range extenders can work for you. That's fine. I don't want to see any of the manufacturers just leaning on that crutch. EU wants to use satellites to automatically prevent your car from speeding. Report. If satellite-based detection system realizes your car is speeding, regulators want it to automatically reduce your car's power output. So you can get the pedal down, but it won't go. We've had many discussions about Americanizing the world. This is the EU looking inward. Let them do that, I guess. EU is exploring satellite-based speed limits, but there's no official plan to mandate them yet. Current ISA systems already misread speed limits, which becomes a bigger issue if the cars slow themselves down. So this is what I was concerned with, and I was curious how it's dealt with, and apparently it's not dealt with. It's going to be a problem. The public backlash could be strong if the EU announces these new speed limits. Intelligent speed assist system is mandatory on all cars sold in the EU. It displays the speed limit, emits a sound if you go over, and adjusts your speed on cruise control. But the EU wants to go further by mandating cars sold after 2030 have satellite enforced speed limit. You're gonna have to make sure those things are accurate. It's the only way this is gonna be socially acceptable to anybody, unless nobody's driving and everybody's riding. The proposal, reportedly under consideration, aims to go beyond simply having a car tell you the speed limit. Instead of simply warning drivers, the system could use satellite positioning and onboard sensors to determine the car's location, compare it with local speed limit, and reduce the power if the driver is speeding. Supporters believe this kind of technology could significantly reduce road casualties, but drivers likely wouldn't welcome it. Also, what if I'm on a racetrack? What if I am in some sort of emergency? There are very few emergencies that this makes any sense for, I know, but they exist. Today's ISA, maybe my bodyguards are driving me away from paparazzi or gunmen or something, I don't know. Today's ISA systems typically use a combination of cameras, GPS data, and maps to determine the speed limit. And maybe if Mobileye didn't have the patent on OCRing a freaking street sign, they might be better at this. But then, of course, you still got cases where foliage is growing in front of street signs, or street signs have fallen, or twisted, or gone upside down, or been stolen. Although it typically turns itself back on whenever the car restarts. These systems work well enough as a warning layer, but they are not infallible, and sometimes do get the speed limit wrong. This can be significant in a car that no longer is just telling you what it thinks the speed limit is, but actively enforcing it. A misread or bad map update is annoying today, but could become a safety problem tomorrow if this technology is implemented. Agreed. I know that's so sad. Proceeds to floor it in my 2002 VW Golf. I'm hearing a... Was it my nose? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm hearing a popping on my talk. There we go. The future all wanted with connected cars. Not us, but yes. Man, the Motor 1 comments today are slow. I'll tell you now, if this ever gets enforced, I'm sticking my unregulated BMW 335D until the end of time. If that doesn't work for some reason, I'll ensure I drive exactly the speed limit as often as possible, everywhere. It means not slowing down for roundabouts, blind bends, through pedestrian. Oh, that last one I don't like. Because believe me, there are times when you should slow down, but know full well you continue to just go the speed limit and make things very unsafe. But strictly speaking, it's your right of way, and you're still doing the speed limit, so you wouldn't be at fault. It doesn't work that way, unfortunately. Perhaps one place to start is to initially limit enforcement to only gross speeding cases. For instance, if the highest legal speed limit is anywhere in the country is 70, maybe the warnings can still kick in when exceeding actual speed limit, but automatically slowing the car if it only happens at 90 miles per hour. Yeah, that's safer than this proposal, especially if they need to override because of crappy electronics. In a future phase, maybe they can lower the speed governor further. Yeah. Personally, not a fan. I don't tend to automatically advocate for personal responsibility, but there does need to be some in the mix. Too dystopian, GTFO, Skynet. Alright, so then something about Google, but I think that was for me, not for you guys. So we're going to share this tab instead here. This flaw is keep sabotaging solid-state batteries. Scientists found a solution. Tiny metal spikes can short-circuit a solid-state battery. So the solid-states have the dendrite problem too then. Didn't realize that's what was taking them so long. But it does make sense. If the solid-state batteries are also based on lithium, and liquid or polymer or gel lithium has a dendrite problem, then why would the solid lithium not have a dendrite problem too? I don't know why the small one is crying. I'll have to go find out. Forget solid state. This EV battery breakthrough is ready to upend the market now. How old is this? Toyota's 40-year solid-state battery could change everything that we know about EVs. So I'm not wrong when I keep saying 30, 40 years. Good gracious. Or are they saying 40-year lifespan? I thought I was done. There are tales of NiCad batteries doing the same dendrite problem. The practical solution is simply zap the cell with enough voltage to destroy the dendrites, but not the rest of the cell. Or they can do that short term. As of mid-2026, I believe the only true solid-state batteries used are in pacemakers, and the entire production volume is over the last decade could easily fit in my office. There's a big duh if the claim is that dendrites have been discovered. That's early news, nor is their cause. Take a look at the thickness of the Tesla 4680 cell case to grasp where Tesla may be going. As they add more silicon to the anode, a robust cell case, a chassis and element, and may control anode expansion, converting expansion to linear movement, much like welded railway rails, convert linear expansions, stress, cross-section expansion, exciting stuff. Yep. I thought I clicked on, did I middle click on that? I did. I wanted to left click on it. No, I didn't middle click it either. It didn't load at all. Forget solid state. This EV battery breakthrough is ready to upend the market. When's it from? June. Most automakers don't expect to be ready. Silicon. Yeah, we may have talked about this, or it may have been one of those whiz bang that I skipped because of the whiz bangery. One more, and I will deal with this family of mine. A 40-year solid-state battery could change everything we know about EVs. Toyota's next-gen EV batteries could vastly improve the driving range and charging speeds compared to today's packs. Companies reportedly working on cells that could last 4 decades. Okay, so 4 decades of length, not 4 decades they've been working on it. Because I could have sworn it was only 25 to 30 years they've been working on this stuff. It could be reused multiple times during that period. Okay, so that's all I wanted to check with that. So let me come back to you guys here on the screen. And thank you all for taking the time to come through today. And See the fingerprint the thing recognizes. Thank you for all for your time today. I want to thank our channel members for your monetary help in keeping the bills paid on this thing, and hope to catch you all again next week. And check out Brian's play if we find a way to view it, or if you're in the area, obviously. Check out Brian's channel at Futuraza. We'll catch you over at the Tesla Life show a couple times this week, and we'll see you back here next week. Thank you very much. And again, thank you not just to the channel members, but to everybody for your time and for everybody who participated in the chat. I love it. Stay safe, stay healthy, and if you're around any ill children, take some vitamin C, I guess.